Hey everybody, how's it going? It is RambleCast time. It's last I checked, November 30th. Hopefully they didn't change that in the last few minutes, but they could have. That's the year we're having. With me I have a Corbin.
Hello.
How's it going, man?
It is going okay. I watched some soccer today. I had to leave my apartment for a little bit because there's very loud construction noises above me. And those construction noises are back. I can't do anything about it. Sorry.
You're fired.
And that's where I'm at.
Sounds about right. Yeah, and I don't have a whole lot of story to tell other than I've been spending a lot of time messing around with Visual Studio for Mac and realizing Microsoft still doesn't give a crap about the Mac. Holy crap, that software's buggy.
I guess not for that. A lot of their other software on Mac is way better than on Windows, which is always very funny.
Most software is just better somewhere else than it is on Windows. But hey, it's hard to judge. Actually, it's easy to judge. It's super easy to judge. Oh my god, it's so bad over there. But hey, it's still the dominant OS because that's how things work.
People play games.
Yep, that's where people play games, and that seems to have dominated all decisions. And also, hello to Austin. You're in the chat, man.
How's it going?
And he's asking, what did he miss this week? Fun fact, nothing. Actually, that's not at all true. There was, some people would say, an event. A big event. Where stores got money. That's really all that happened.
Yeah.
It was a big event for stores to get money.
Yeah. Black Friday was a thing. Oh yeah, I wasn't here last week. I just remembered. I had no idea if I'd actually shown up here last week or not. I now remember I was in the car at the time. Wow, they're really banging that hammer right now above me. Can you hear this, by the way?
I think I heard a brief kind of a pop sound, but not bad.
Nice. Yeah, so Amazon, I saw this morning, published a press release basically patting themselves on the back, as one does in a press release.
Mm-hmm.
And they said that this was a quote, biggest ever, quote, Thanksgiving holiday shopping weekend. They're referring to 5 days, which is not what a weekend is.
Yeah.
But they also came up with the term Turkey 5 for those 5 days, which I've never heard before, and I hope I never have to hear again.
Fortunately, well, I can't say this with confidence, but I have never seen this even until loading this article.
Yeah.
Which kind of tells me that this isn't catching on.
I think they made this up.
Well, I mean, obviously they made it up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just don't think that this is going to catch on anyway, so you're probably never going to hear it again. Whatever PR agent came up with this, they've already been fired.
Yeah.
It's the Fox. It's the Fox TV programming rules applying here. If it doesn't hit big on its very first episode, it's out. It's fired.
Well,
so
the PR person was fired, but not because of anything they did, but because of just mass layoffs at Amazon.
That too.
Yeah. So they said Amazon's best-selling categories were home. I guess they sell houses now. Fashion, toys, beauty, and Amazon devices, because that's what they plaster all over their website all the time. So that is not a surprise. They say that the best selling items were the Echo Dot, the Fire TV Stick, and Apple AirPods. The which is interesting because I remember the AirPods did basically all of the AirPods went on sale, like the normal ones and the Pros, and I think both generations of the normal ones because Apple's selling both of them at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And that sale when I saw it initially ended after like a day or two. So it's kind of surprising that was and I remember that was earlier in the week. So maybe they restocked and didn't notice. But
Well, it's possible they just sold in massive numbers.
Yeah.
Like right away. What could have also happened, it might not have hit our circles immediately or on time, or rather at all. But it's possible that maybe like some circles kind of knew that this was going to happen and maybe got big publicity out to their specific subgroup of followers that this was going to be a huge sale. People could have rushed in and bought these like ASAP, and that kind of happened. I don't know. It's hard to say, but obviously I'm just gonna make an assumption here. They're counting all AirPods and not just like one model.
Yeah, for sure. They're almost assuredly doing that. And I don't like it's a little bit interesting to me that AirPods is in there and not a lot of the other, like, because like usually you see at least maybe this is more a curse of there being a million SKUs, but usually you see somewhere in here there was a TV that sold like crazy.
Oh yeah.
Because that's what we're trained to do in America, is wait until this one specific day to buy a TV, and then you fight with hordes of other people in the Best Buy for the TV.
Well, of course,
tradition.
Because you have to buy whatever model is just about to be replaced.
Has the most ads, yeah.
Well, there's a lot of kind of confluence of events that lead to Black Friday weekend being the ideal time for a TV to go on sale. One, it's just about a month and a half before a whole bunch of stuff gets shown off at CES. And CES is like the big event for showing off TVs. So, it's kind of a given. This is the perfect time to kind of clearance things. Also, we're 2.5 months away? Is that right? Yeah, 2.5 months away from Super Bowl. So that's also a big reason people typically pick up a TV right about now. So yeah, it's the time to buy TV.
Yeah, I wonder if the Echo Dot, Fire TV Stick, and AirPods are all the Echo Dot and TV Stick are dirt cheap. AirPods is it's not over like a thing most people are like. I shouldn't say that, but like
it's not something you usually have to like plan your purchase.
Right. It's that's
still not
like almost
necessarily
in impulse territory for some people.
For some people, yeah. But to be fair, a Maserati can be an impulse territory for some people.
So my theory here, and Austin kind of brought up that across the whole industry, this was not a very high performing shopping season.
Yeah.
And what I kind of get from this list of their 3 things they've picked, in addition to other stuff, is it seems like this was probably one where most people got a lot of cheap stuff, like big budget purchases were much less of a thing this time.
Yeah, and I heard a lot of reports saying that the things that sold most, obviously not just taking Amazon into account, but just in general, the things that sold most were things that had really deep discounts. So a lot of stuff that was like actually being clearanced, a lot of things that may have been end of lifing, basically like companies that were very clearly just getting things out the door so before they announce new products. Like that's the kind of stuff that sold well. Obviously there were other things that sold well. Amazon's list even highlights stuff like the Nintendo Switch,
which is I think it was like $280, the normal Switch. I don't know, maybe they're counting all Switches.
Yeah.
But there's the Echo Show in there, which, depending on which model they're talking about, is like either like $30-$40 somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, the general premise that people are kind of buying a lot of things because they're the cheapest that they're feasibly going to be, that kind of still says something. And yeah, I have a funny feeling that this is symbolic of definitely the, we're in, I don't want to say a depression, but we're definitely in that deep recession territory. So it's kind of inevitable that that's how the shopping is going to go for the vast majority of people. And whoever's not buying that way, they're just not phased by the economy the same way.
Yeah. And because I saw a lot of really good sales on more expensive electronics, and especially this press release is specifically talking about the weekend period when a lot of this stuff started a month ago. Just off the top of my head, that the Google Pixel stuff was crazy. Like getting a 6A for, I want to say $300.
It was $300, yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And the Pixel
I would
7
know.
Was there you go. And I think the Pixel 7 was like $500 or $400.
I believe it was $500. It definitely wasn't $400. Wait, no, it was $500.
I wrote about it. I think I might have made someone else write about it, but it was definitely.
Well, it was $499, but yeah, it was $500.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. It was. 6A was $300. 7 was $500. Yes. Okay. All right.
Good. We're in agreement.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, that was impressive. I saw all of the MacBooks were on sale. There wasn't a huge discount there.
There never is. Well, I mean, every once in a while, like one specific model with a relatively specific configuration will suddenly get like a really good deep discount. And by deep discount, we're talking maybe, like 10% off instead of 5% off kind of thing. But
yeah, the MacBooks are weird because there's that M1 that has been, MSRP is still $1,000 on that, I think, or $900, but it's been like hovering around $800, $900 for a while, and I saw it drop to $800 again during this time, which is pretty good. Like, that's the laptop I have. I got more storage, but I still have the base 8 gig of RAM. That's a really good computer for $800. And
that base 8 gig of RAM just needles at me.
Don't
get me wrong.
Yeah, I have a lot of Cody. Sometimes I forget, because of my small screen and my constant splitting tabs in their own window. Sometimes I forget I have like 20 more tabs open, and it's fine. It's chilling. I've got Photoshop in the background too. I've yet to have a problem. It runs Planet Coaster better than my gaming PC, which is very funny. So
yeah, and we'll come back to that topic shortly.
So, and I saw the M2 had some okay sales, but definitely that thing you were mentioning where it's like 10%. I saw that with like all the iPads. Like I saw iPad, I was like, I'm not writing about any of these. These are like, oh boy, the $600 iPad is now $560. What a bargain.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and that I know that they don't have to do big discounts, but it feels like that's one area where Apple, they could really just be cool.
They definitely know. It is an interesting strat. Like I've definitely seen time and time again where they have pretty good sales on their low end stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like you want an iPad Pro on sale, you can fuck right off, buddy. You're not getting that.
Yeah,
so like
go buy used.
M1 Air dropped really low. The base M2 Air dropped kind of low, not great. I saw there were like a couple sales on that new base iPad that just came out, the 10th gen. The older 9th gen dropped back down to I think like 260. I think we covered that one at How To Geek, and that got a lot of attention. So that I don't have any data on how many things of a thing we sell, but I would imagine that one got some sales. But yeah, so interesting market analysis here, and especially as it like this year is like, I know it's been this way for like at least 10 years, where like the actual day doesn't really matter anymore, or even the like actual weekend. It's at least the week, spanning out into the weeks before and after. But like this time was definitely extended. Like most of the big sales started more than a week before. Like usually how all this works is like stuff, like everyone tries to one up each other by starting earlier, like primaries elections in the United States, where you have like fucking Iowa going first because they want to be special. But usually you get like, it's like an incline, like they usually save something better for the day, but that didn't really happen. There was like a couple things I saw. Like I was working that Friday, nothing much happening.
Yeah.
I was mostly like going through what I'd already written for the past 2 weeks and checking if I could like, republish something.
So, I have a funny feeling this is going to be one of those years that becomes an analytical highlight. One that people are going to look back on repeatedly. But yeah, there were so many companies that started their sales either basically right at Halloween. I mean, I do remember at least a few companies just straight up, it was like a few days before Halloween, and they had Black Friday sales starting on the dot. And it's like, what are you, why? Seriously, we're not even within a month of Black Friday. You're actually starting a few days ahead of a full month ahead of Black Friday. Why? And I even ranted about this on Mastodon. I was getting just tons of emails to my inbox on yesterday, saying, hey, our Black Friday sales have extended. They're still going. It's like, guys, come on. Seriously. If people didn't buy from you during the several weeks leading up to this, and people didn't buy from you on the day, on Black Friday, and people didn't buy from you over the weekend or on Monday, if you extend today, it doesn't change it. People knew. You know who needed to hear this? You know who actually wanted all those sales to extend beyond Cyber Monday? People who were in comas until the end of Cyber Monday. That's it. They're the only people who missed those sales. Every other person, they knew. And at some point they were like, yeah, we're done. Our wallets are empty. Our credit cards are full. We're out of this thing. It's over. And yeah, if you're extending your sales, no one cares. All you did is create a whole bunch of email that made a bunch of servers work a little harder, and that makes you effectively no better than a crypto miner.
do wonder where the diminishing returns kick in. Like, at what point does the entire industry train people that, like, none of this, like, just if you buy anything in November, it's gonna be at a decent price. Like, I mean, that's kind of how I feel already, but I know I'm more like, this is my actual job is covering this, so I don't know what the common person thinks about this.
Just for giggles, I want some company, one of the companies that is just naturally trollish, to do, like, I want them to do Black Friday year round. Just literally announce, it's our Black Friday sale, and it's never ending. Our product is now just blank. Like, our product is now permanently 20% off. That's our Black Friday sale. I can totally see D-Brand doing this, except I feel like they would probably do something really stupid, like intentionally price a product way too expensive and announce like a 75% off sale for Black Friday that just never ends, and that'll just be the regular price. But yeah, you know, Black Friday at this stage has just become such a dumb meme. It needs to be made fun of.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm always down to make fun of large corporations. You know this, Cody.
Oh yeah,
that's one of my few joys in life.
Well,
besides putting off all my responsibilities and playing an extended session of Planet Coaster.
This is true.
Was what I was doing yesterday.
I do have to give a little bit of credit to, as always, like every year, some credit has to be given to Cards Against Humanity. I don't know if you heard about their Black Friday discount, but they did a 200% discount for Black Friday. They literally had it was like a box for holding cards. They literally discounted it 200%. They paid you to order this. That's actually not a joke. I mean, it was obviously meant as kind of a haha, but
right.
That was actually a real thing. And the order that people purchased, like as people bought it, it decreased the sale. Until finally, I think it lagged out at something like 26% off. But still, that was kind of a neat gimmick.
That's good marketing.
Yeah. In previous years, they have actually done a reverse Black Friday discount where they charged more for the product. I have no idea if that worked at all, but they did the whole, like, we're donating this to something. So
right.
Yeah, there's actually a reason to spend more. I love that. I love those guys. They're always good for a Black Friday laugh. I can't think of anyone else that actually made fun of Black Friday. Everyone seemed to take it too seriously this year.
Yeah, I don't know. At a certain point, as soon as I saw an Amazon link in my inbox, I just deleted the email. So I might have missed out on something.
Honestly, I've been doing that for so many years. Black Friday is just now instinct. I delete so much stuff from my inbox, which, speaking of, I should have gone through and done a lot more unsubscribes this year. I knocked out quite a few of them, but I should have just been like mass unsubscribing from things.
The past like 2 months, I got on some kind of list. I just get way more shit now, and it's like sometimes products, but it's like the spam I always get is the like, do you want to get on the phone with this random person I've never heard of to talk about a news event? Like, no, I don't want to speak to Jeff at Anchor about what the Russian invasion of Ukraine means for phones. I don't want to do that. Anchor didn't send me an email like that. I just couldn't think of someone to say.
Yeah. I did get a couple of those dumb emails. I don't remember. The thing is, I don't read them. It's one of those things. You get those emails, you can get like 3 words into it, and then you already know kind of what you're seeing. So you skip down like a paragraph or a few sentences, whatever. You skip down just a little bit to make sure, because you can always tell somewhere about halfway through, or you look to the end and look for the, if you'd like to set up a call or something like that.
Yeah, and usually, helpfully, they bold the part where
that's always
begging
so good.
they're begging you to talk to their boss about a thing, so it's very helpful.
Yep. And as soon as I see the obvious signs, it's like, cool, delete. I honestly don't even notice what most of this stuff's for anymore, just because it's never relevant.
Yeah, and my personal email also floats around on some of those lists, but at least for as long as I'm using Outlook as my like funnel where all my email goes, I do like that they make it really easy to block addresses based on a domain. So I've been collecting domains of PR agencies and just putting it all on that list, and it's working wonders. There's a lot of PR agencies, so it's like cat and mouse, but I'm winning. Is what I'm saying. I can't do much in my work email though, because like there's a chance one of those email addresses could be like, you know, some weird external PR that Google's using or something.
Yeah. It's amazing how much the tech companies actually do use some pretty crappy PR companies.
Yeah. So I have to keep the gates open for that, unfortunately. But
yeah, I haven't gone that far. I'm not doing hard blocks of anyone. I just mostly do a lot of unsubscribing. But yeah, there are a few PR companies that I do actually, when I see stuff from them, I have moved to actually marking spam, because they're sending stuff that has absolutely nothing to do with me. I always kind of wait to double check. Like, I don't do it just if they sent one random thing. Mm-hmm. But if I see that PR company pop up a few times, a lot of times I'll kind of check my deleted emails and see, like, do I have more from this guy or this girl, whatever. And if I have a few things and it's like, yep, I've definitely seen you a few times, you stood out in my head as being a bad sender, yeah, you're gonna get marked as spam. And I assume that this probably happens a lot, because at least once a week, honestly, it's probably closer to about once a day, but about once a week, I see PRs showing up in my spam folder from PR companies I've never marked as spam, which indicates to me other people are doing the same thing too. People have just recognized, like, here's a bad sender, we're marking you off.
Yeah. Yeah, that's always fun. The one I kept getting was, there's some company or group of companies that just sends me a list of Amazon links. And they change the address almost every time. So I like, just blocking the address does nothing. And it's like a Gmail or something too.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Have you, just curious, have you tried actually responding to them and saying, unsubscribe? Like, please stop sending to me?
No, but if I get it again, I might have a few choice words, or send them to that website that's the GIF of. I shouldn't say that. But send them to an explicit website. Maybe do something fun.
One that includes doing terrible things with your body parts.
Yeah, I was gonna say meat spin. That's a good one. I know that's still around.
I was gonna say, I don't think I'm actually familiar with that one.
Oh, well, it's
not open.
If I recall, it's just a looping video of someone spinning their meat. I don't know if that's still around. I remember getting sent to that website a couple times as a joke, like 10 years ago.
You know, I've never actually been sent to or ended up at one of those sites. Every time someone has in any way tried, you could always tell. People were never subtle with their attempts to get you to go to certain things.
I think that one might have been like in a chat or something, and I didn't know what it was.
Well, yeah,
But it was something like that.
but
It was kind of funny.
like it goes back to the early days with Goatsy. Was it Goatsy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a popular one for a while.
Well, and it was the first. It was the first of the real shock sites. And yeah, I just remember the level of effort someone was trying to go to get me to check it out. It's like, no, I already can tell what this is going to be because you're trying too hard and you look like you're up to something.
And it's the same behavior from the Rick rolls. We're like, I see. You're using a link shortener when you don't really have to. I see what's going on here.
Though Rick rolls hadn't come around for a long time at that stage. Or weren't yet a thing. And Rick rolls, I dare say, have always been a lot more clever. Like, yeah, obviously a lot of people do the link shorteners, the lazy stuff, but people got inventive with Rick rolls. I want to give credit to people on the internet for the fact that they made Rick rolls actually kind of fun. They got super creative with ways to try to get you to get Rick rolled. At least Rick rolls have actually gotten me a few times. But yeah, anyway, so I'll ask the dumb question. Did you get stuff for Black Friday?
No. I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, like, I've bought stuff in the past week, but not really because something was on sale. Like, I needed food. And
when
I went to my mom's house, of course I forgot all my masks, so I had to go buy some. But that was not a Black Friday deal.
Yeah. Let's see. The only thing I really got for Black Friday was the Pixel 6a, which I'm reselling. Thank you to Austin for giving me that idea. And technically I did also order a 30-watt charger from Google, but that's because they did a $10 off thing with the Google store, and I don't know when it was going to expire, so I figured, screw it, I'll just use it to order something that I may as well get, because may as well get it. Yeah, that's... Yeah. Oh, okay, this kind of doesn't count, but it does. The VPN service that I've been using, which I kind of dislike the company because they do the whole, here's an intro price that's really appealing, and then we're going to not tell you, but yeah, the price after the intro price goes super high. So they pulled that crap with me. Anyway, I unsubscribed from them about 2 weeks ago, and they started sending emails like, hey, we'd really like you back, and we saw the reason that you're leaving us is because you want lower prices. So how about this? We're going to offer you a lower price. And holy crap, did they offer a lower price. They undercut like everybody. Yeah. They offered, it was 66% off, I think. And it's like, they even undercut themselves. Like literally their own Black Friday deal is nowhere near as good as the price that they offered me. And it's like, hey, okay, sure, I'll do another year with you because you made it stupidly cheap. Sure, not a problem. And then next year I will do the same thing. If you offer me the deal again, I'll keep it. If you don't, I'm off to somebody else. Thank you, Black Friday deals, for making that a easy negotiating position.
Yeah, if I was smart, I would have done that with Hulu, because they do some kind of Black Friday thing every year. But this one was only for new or returning subscribers, so I couldn't. But they had like a year of, if you paid for a year of Hulu with ads at once, the monthly price worked out to be like $2 or something. Yeah, so I don't know. I did some soul searching and switched streaming services I paid for, because Disney's changing all the pricing on everything in a few days. I want to say December 9th is when they're changing all of their Disney, Hulu, ESPN bundles and changing individual pricing on the Disney and Hulu plans and adding Disney Plus with ads is when that launches. So I did some calculations and I don't like, so I ended up dropping the Hulu without ads because it was now up to $50 a month, and that's kind of a lot of money. So I dropped to the one with ads, and once I did that, you can pay it. At least it allowed me. I don't know if this is an option anymore. I could get a year of that for like $80, which worked out to be like $3 less a month or something. So that was like half the price of what I was paying for the no ads on a monthly basis. And then they let me add Disney Plus for like $3 a month, and that was without the ads. So I'm like, sure. So now I'll watch all the stupid Star Wars stuff that keeps coming out.
Yeah. So, yeah, all things considered, Black Friday basically did not matter to me.
Nope. I had a lot of stuff on my Keepa, but nothing went on sale except a router that went on sale, but it was still over $400, and I don't really want to spend that right now, so didn't get that.
Yeah.
I was hunting my stockpile of Adobe Creative Cloud ends in April, so I hunted around to see if they had a year of the photography plan on sale anywhere. Nope, they just don't do that anymore. I probably should have bought more years when they did that.
Yeah, I'm feeling a little regret over that myself, but
yeah.
At the same time, it's just incentivizing me more to leave.
Yeah, I don't want to though. I don't want to learn something else. I've used Photoshop since I was like 11. I don't want to learn something new.
That's how they get you. They get you young. Yeah. At this stage though, I don't want to leave, but at the same time, I don't feel like supporting their business model. It feels too abusive at this stage, and I kind of just want out of it. So, yeah, I'm getting closer and closer to just making the jump to Affinity.
Yeah, I mean, also part of the reason why I'm reluctant to leave Adobe is because all of like Affinity stuff, I think it's still Mac only, right?
No, it's been Windows, Windows and Mac
Windows?
for years.
Okay, I must be thinking of something else then. Well, okay. Well, I was gonna say, like, my assumption there was like, if I decide to reverse and not use Mac, then I need to go back to Adobe stuff. But okay.
Yeah, and now I will say this: if you go to buy the Affinity stuff on the Mac App Store, you're getting it for the same price, but only for Mac. If you go to their website and buy, you get it for Mac, Windows, and iPad.
Okay.
All for the same price. So yeah.
I will ponder that then. Really, my main issue still is no one has come exactly close to Photoshop's content aware. I don't need the super advanced content aware that often, but it's nice. And there's not really a thing that's like modern Lightroom really anywhere else. But I don't use Lightroom a lot anymore, so it's not that big of a deal. Again, it's just like stuff I like to have, but I don't know what is the photography plan cost now? Is it still like $10 a month?
I believe 10, or is it 11?
Because it's like Yeah, the one I have, it looks like it is $9.99. Okay. I don't know. They might.
Okay, yeah, it is $9.99.
It helps that their Mac apps are fairly optimized. The Windows apps are just total pieces of shit.
Yes.
Like I can't believe how much quicker Photoshop is on my, again, base model MacBook Air than on any other Windows computer I've ever tried. It's astounding. Adobe does not know how to make, generally doesn't know how to make software. They know how to make Windows software even less.
Well, they're not very good at mobile apps. That's been more or less confirmed. I mean, they're okay with iPad-ish, but they seem to not be any good at Android. Years and years have proven that. And yeah, they, for whatever reason, their ability to make Windows apps really, really fell apart. I'm not sure why.
Yeah. I don't know what, whatever UI thing they have, whatever UI toolkit they like to use, but it's just the worst. Yeah, so that's a fun thing. And also, again, the other fun thing here that I was frustrated with is I'm sitting here like nickel and diming what subscriptions I should keep when all of this is like a rounding error in the budget of things I have to pay for to continue living.
Yeah.
Right? Like this is $10 a month. My rent is $1,200 a month, and it's they're probably gonna raise it again when I have to renew in March. I think it's March. So I'm looking forward to that. And my car.
The obvious catch to that is the amount that they're going to raise your rent and the amount that your car expenses go up and the amounts of all those things combined with all the subscriptions you pay, all combined eat up a very large chunk of the income, or so I assume. Right. So yeah, this is why I'm still pretty averse to subscriptions, because no matter how much you're making, those subscriptions tend to add up over time.
Yeah, like I'm not like disregarding it. Like doesn't matter, where I'm paying $10 a month for this when it's a tiny fraction. But like it's still kind of like really, like I could have so much more money.
Yeah.
If I didn't have to have a fucking car in this country. Like especially the car, because of my terrible financial decision of 19 or 20-year-old Corbin buying a Nissan, however old Corbin was at the time.
Yeah.
Makes me annoyed.
Oh, it was idealistic. Can't fault you for that.
I like the car. It was a good car. I just couldn't drive the distance.
Yes. Oh, but yeah.
No one told me Nissan didn't actively cool their batteries on those first gen Leafs. That would have been good information to know.
Honestly, as I'm sitting here with the Affinity page open, and I'm staring at it, and all I've got running through my head is, honestly, it would only take 10 months to match what I pay for Adobe.
Yeah.
10 months, and I'm caught up.
They got a 40% off something right now.
Yeah, it's 40% off if you buy the whole batch. I think. I don't think you can. Oh yeah, okay. The sale goes for individuals too.
Individual apps.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah, because they've got. You mean like the photo and the designer?
Well, yeah.
If Illustrator.
Designer is the same as Illustrator.
All right, I don't use Illustrator.
Photo is the same as Photoshop, with a little bit of the Lightroom functionality. Not enough, in my opinion. Well, not from what I remember. Maybe it's better now. I haven't looked at version 2 that closely, but
Well, the annoying thing is that I'm sure this is some temporary sale, and I need to try this for a long time.
Well, they do have
Uh,
they do have a 30-day
yeah,
trial.
yeah. I was looking at the trial, but it's like by the time they finish the trial, it's going to be back to full price, which is annoying. But
I mean, strictly
whatever.
speaking, who cares?
Yeah.
If you can figure out within 2 or 3 days that you want to buy it, then just do that and you're good to go.
It'll be some holiday sale or something. 'Cause my Adobe ends in like April, and it's like that's theoretically it's fine if I need to keep paying for it as long as I do. But
Okay, right, but what I'm getting at is with the Affinity stuff, since it's not a subscription, the earlier you buy it, the more you're getting out of your
right,
purchase anyway. Um, that being said, if I remember, actually, I think Adobe allows you to put subscriptions on hold. So you'd have to check on that, but in theory, if you weren't actually going to need it or use it, I think you can just put their subscriptions on hold and like delay a while before coming back. Let's see.
I'll play with it. That's something that it doesn't need to be. Again, like it's if I was on like the all apps subscription on Adobe, I would have a full plan ready to go by the time that stocked up subscription ended. But it's okay if I need to pay $10 a month while I migrate whatever I need to get off of my Lightroom account.
Yeah. Okay, so they do have full raw development functionality, or so they say. So that's
Mm.
something. Um,
Do
I might
do
look
you?
into how they're like. I know they have a healing tool, and that's kind of all I
Yeah,
care about.
yeah. I know they do. It's. I'm sure it's just slightly worse than whatever Adobe's made. Now, do you know with Affinity if they're picky about how many devices you use?
Oh,
I
yeah,
might need to
I
look
don't
into
know
that.
about that. I don't think they're super picky about it, but
Uh, one website says there's wait, you can install the Windows version on as many PCs as you control. Likewise, the Mac version can be installed on as many Macs, and that is from their support account in is that 2016? Wait, no, is that something else? That's something else. Wow, Google results are just total shit at this point. I can't find any useful information. And DuckDuckGo is
okay.
worse.
Well, here we go. I found it just by looking on their website. How many computers
Okay.
can I install a digital product on? Serif Software is platform specific. If you wish to use Serif Software on both Mac and Windows platforms, you must purchase a license for each or purchase a universal license. We're kind of just talking about the universal anyway. I mean, if you're purchasing the individuals. Oh yeah, okay. I didn't read that very closely. Yeah, if you're purchasing individuals, then you have to buy platform specific. But the universal just covers all platforms. Um, okay, so let's see. As a private individual, you can download, install, use, and run for personal use one copy of the Serif software directly on each computer running either, depending on your purchase license, Windows, Mac, yeah. As a commercial enterprise, blah blah blah. So, I guess you're only supposed to use on one of each OS at a time.
Hmm.
I wonder if they actually impose that though.
Yeah, I'll have to. Well, I guess I could theoretically. I don't know if I could try with the trial if that would work, but um, I mean, like it sounds like it might be like I know if theoretically if I was gonna buy it from the Mac App Store,
I was
then there
gonna
wouldn't
say,
be a
yeah,
device limit. Yeah.
Yeah, they don't
'Cause I know,
impose device limits there, so.
yeah, because I know that's how it works with Parallels. Because there's the Parallels in the App Store, which is worse. It doesn't have as many features, but you can install it on as many devices as you want. And then they have the different version that they sell through their website that does more. Like it has the convergence mode and everything, and that is one device.
Yeah, and there was another, there was a product that almost never goes on sale. They actually even made a point of saying this on their Twitter account. But this year they decided to put their product in with one of those big bundle buy kind of things. And it's weird because you can still just buy it individually, in which case it was like 50% off. The catch to it, it only allows, I think, 3 activations if you buy it that way. And it's like, yeah, I'm not doing that. I want to install this on 2 computers right away.
Yeah.
And then I guarantee before they do their next version upgrade, I'm going to have a new computer somewhere along the way. There goes 3 installs.
Yeah.
I'm not buying it from you that way. Not a chance. I want it from the Mac App Store.
Yeah, Adobe was really killing me with their 2 device limit. At least they make it very easy for you to like turn off a device, so you can swap between. But it's annoying. But yeah, okay. Well, I might look into that. We'll see.
Yeah. Okay. So this is a bit of a turnoff for me on buying the Universal from their site. I might actually just get it from the App Store. Because I do want to be able to just install the software and use it anywhere. And frankly, the odds of me using it on Windows are fairly low. I guess the only drawback is I would like to also use this on the iPad. And I don't think the Mac App Store version, if you buy that, I don't think you get the iPad versions.
On the... Oh, wait. That's a different... Oh, fuck. It did that... Where I searched Affinity in the Mac App Store and I don't see the app.
I can't imagine why.
Somewhere in here.
Really just one quick search, I found it.
What am I doing?
Are you misspelling Affinity? It's 2 F's, you know.
Yeah, no, it's supposed to be. Do I need to put in photo?
No. I mean, you can
It's not-
try.
It's not here. I see Darkroom and Lightroom. Those are the first 2 results when I search Affinity Photo.
The thing I'm curious about, I know that they have the Universal available in the App Store too, but that I don't see. And I think the only way to find the Universal was through their... There had to be another way to get to it.
Yeah, okay. Well, I found it in the App Store from DuckDuckGo, and I clicked it, and it did take me to the right place. So it's just Apple search having a day.
Yeah, that happens.
Interesting. Yeah, I'll think about it.
Oh, hey. I've got a package here. I will be right back.
Alright, this is my live stream now. How's everyone doing? Can we get some pogs in the chat? Oh, Austin said get a bolt. It might catch fire, but you're inside when it does. You don't have to worry about it. I am thinking about it, maybe. I don't know. I have a Hyundai Kona right now that I'm paying off until I think October of next year. I do theoretically have the option of paying it off early, but that's a lot of money. So probably won't do that. But I don't know, maybe after that I could maybe sell it and get an EV. I don't know. I do want to go back to EVs because the maintenance on gas engines is not. I don't know. I'm not good at keeping track of all the things it needs. So EV would be cool to have again, but I don't know what the price will be like then, or anything else. But yeah, I don't have anything fun to talk about, unfortunately. Just been working and watching World Cup on my little antenna TV. Well, not little. The antenna's little. My TV is not. The soccer games do be crazy though. I also saw Glass Onion last night. That was pretty good. Where's my pogs in the chat? This is an outrage. I see on the Mac App Store there's an in-app purchase for that Universal license, and then just PhotoTree by itself is $41, which is pretty good. I haven't been keeping up with the World Cup. Anything crazy happening? I don't know what to find. I like watching it. I don't keep a good enough track record of what is actually happening at the tournament level. Mexico got kicked out of the next stage earlier, which is kind of surprising. Apparently, I think they said that's the first time that's happened since like the 70s. And some of the games are pretty entertaining in terms of getting very close to getting it in the goal repeatedly. Cody's back. Hello.
Hello. Okay. So, have you discovered anything special in the last minute?
No, it's just talking about soccer.
Oh. Well, that's a subject.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been watching any of it. I take it World Cup has been keeping you entertained. I have been watching the World Cup channel on your server because the discussion is occasionally amusing. Barely. But yeah, outside of that, I really haven't cared.
Well, the games earlier today were pretty interesting just from the perspective of it often seems like not a lot happens over those long stretches of games, but those were like a lot happening. Like very nearly I think the last game with Argentina I was watching, there was like 5 attempts at a goal in like 5 minutes or something like that, so it's kind of crazy. But yeah, just I can't even watch all the games because I don't have cable. I only see the ones that get broadcast on Fox, which is so far about half of them.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's from what I can tell, Fox got most of the rights, but Fox has the main channel and then the FS1. And I only have the main one.
It gets me that they had to tie rights to each and every game.
Yeah, that's kind of weird, but I guess I don't know if that's better or worse because like if I'm comparing it to the Olympics where the NBC just has the rights all the time because that's the one thing they spend money on. Um, it gets to the point where like if they don't before recently if they felt like a game wasn't important enough to broadcast it on TV, then it just didn't get covered. So you had a lot of game like if you're in the US like you just can't watch some games because there's just no way no way to look at them. But the past two, because NBC now has Peacock, they put everything on Peacock. Or I think everything. I don't know. Maybe there's some stuff that they literally just don't bring a camera to. I don't know. It seems like they put pretty much everything there. But the first time they did that, people were not happy because the app was a piece of shit, and they kept labeling events wrong. And also, I saw sometimes they were putting who won something in like the app description. So if you were watching, you're like, oh, I haven't seen this yet. Oh, I just got spoiled. I know. Which is very, very fun. Supposedly it was better this past Olympics, but it's still Peacock. Austin said, I didn't know North America was hosting the 2026 Cup. That's cool. Yeah, they're like splitting it across a bunch of different cities in the US and I think 1 or 2 cities in Canada and a few in Mexico, which I guess is interesting. I mean, it's better than Qatar getting it and using slave labor to build all their stadiums.
But okay, so I asked this once before and I didn't get an answer. But do you know if World Cup has turned into the same situation as the Olympics where the host countries end up spending way too much money on the arenas and everything else, and it ends up costing them more money than they make?
I don't know what the situation is with the World Cup. I know the challenges are different. Because the Olympics is a pain in the ass because you got to build a bunch of different facilities that all do different things, or like use one stadium for like a stadium will be the like for like 100-meter dash or whatever, and then they got to change it into like a swimming pool for the other thing.
Yeah,
but soccer is I think they pretty much just all need the same basic like grass field. So
yeah.
If you have enough soccer, you really only need like one type of stadium, but I think you do need more than one. Because there are games that go on simultaneously. I don't know if that's a requirement or not. They might have just been doing that because they felt like it.
I think it's only, like, I don't think it's a hard requirement. But I know they do multiple games just so that the World Cup can end relatively quickly.
Yeah. Because
if the time it takes to funnel people in and out of a stadium, it's actually less about the players and games and more just the time it takes for getting people in and seated. I mean, we're talking, what are the capacities for these stadiums? I think they're supposed to be 100,000.
Yeah,
is
they're
that
big
right?
boys. I don't know what the number is. It's some big number.
Yeah, anyway, just the time it takes to get people in, seated, and then to get them funneled back out. And most of them are driving or taking some sort of public transpo. Like, you can't realistically do more than, I'm guessing, 2 games per day in a stadium. Oh, and of course there's cleanup time and stuff like that. I guess you could do maybe 3. But you're stretching it.
Yeah, you have to push people out real quick after that game's in.
Yeah, and
get the leaf blower out. Get out.
Yeah. So all things considered, Austin, are you sure it's 8? I thought it was 10 stadiums. I could be wrong. I had it in my head it was 10, but it could have been 8.
Yeah.
But yeah, all things considered, like the logistics make it so that you really have to actually have multiple stadiums if you want to keep if you want to keep enough games going simultaneously. That being said, I could see I could see it being possible to do this with like if you really push it, you could do it with like 4, I think, because the games last long enough.
Yeah, and it really helps that like you don't need a lot for soccer. You just need a grass field that's preferably real grass, and that's it. You know, it's not like the Olympics where you need a bunch of like you need a whole like swim facility, and you need like maybe some ranges if you're doing like the Summer Olympic, or if you're doing the Winter Olympics, you got to build a whole fucking bobsled thing somewhere.
Yes.
But
yeah, the counter to that though, at least with Summer Olympics, first off, really it's not all that different in terms of what you need. You need a few straight pieces of track which you can build in like a week, and you need capacity for all the people who are going to come watch it, so you know, like 500 people, because no one goes to watch the Summer Olympics. And then there's Winter Olympics. Yeah, that's the one where it usually takes a lot, but half of Winter Olympics is downhill skiing and stuff like that. I say half, it's way more than that, but way less than that. There's obviously the indoor skating stuff, which happens, as I recall, almost all the figure skating happens on the exact same ice that they have hockey. So, yeah, you know, they are getting a lot of reuse out of their stadiums.
Right.
So outside of things like bobsled and a couple of other oddballs, I think most of that just, you know, they need a few hockey rinks and they need a big downhill slope. Yeah. Oh, and they also have to, because now they've introduced some of the X Games style stuff, so they also need half pipes.
Gotta get some dirt rally stuff in there.
Yeah, but I mean that's stuff for the most part. You just have to pick locations. You don't necessarily have to have like whole big venues set up. You just need locations that support that.
Unless you are a country in the desert.
Yes.
Where your only environment is a desert.
And you're going to manufacture fake snow for the entire effing thing.
Yes, if you're China. Yeah. Or honestly, probably almost every country from here on out, because we really fucked the planet. I think most of them are probably going to use fakes, unless we have every Winter Olympics in Siberia, or the Olympics in the Yukon. It's about the only way it can happen.
Oh, Austin, can't wait for 2030. The World Cup played in the metaverse. Ugh. I feel like Austin's trying to low-key get us to talk about the metaverse.
No, I will not.
Well, really quick, did you see that video that The Verge posted?
What video?
It got posted to my my Discord in the general chat.
Oh.
If you scroll just a little bit up, you'll see it. It's not hard to find.
Oh yeah. I think
honestly
I saw that. I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah, it's basically straight up mocking the Quest Pro. Like, in theory, this is kind of a review video, but it's not. Like, it is a straight up harsh and justifiably harsh slam on the Quest Pro. And actually, they're not that harsh on the Quest Pro itself. They've got some sufficiently negative things to say, but it is way more about like how bad metaverse software is, and I'm here for that. I loved every second of it.
It's so weird. I feel like that should have collapsed Facebook by now. Meta.
I mean, the company is so rich.
Yeah.
It's not surprising it hasn't, but it's also surprising that they've willingly kept going with this charade.
This must be like a tech company thing, but I don't know. Like one example I've been looking at, because I have some stock in them, but that's not the main reason. That I've been watching like go through turmoil is Disney, which you feel like I'm kind of like it's Disney. Like they're not gonna not be around. Like that is almost impossible. But like their stock price has been going down for like forever. Well, not for like
Yeah,
I
but
think a
right
year.
now it feels like everyone's stock price has been going down quite
Yeah.
a bit. Like,
Well,
even companies that are reporting massive profits, their stock prices have
Yeah.
all dipped.
well, with Disney, part of the thing is that Bob Iger didn't want to be CEO anymore, so they got I think Bob Chapek is his name to replace him. But it was like a very slow migration, and I guess everyone fucking hated him because he just got kicked out like a week ago, and they got Bob Iger back in, and he's apparently doing like damage control, which again is weird because it's like it's Disney. Like they seem like outwards they seem mostly fine, but Disney's in the middle of a woke war, at
Yes.
least according to Twitter. Yes, yeah, I did really like. I don't know if it was a tweet or something, but someone was joking about the Strange World animated movie that just came out. That's apparently a box office bomb. They were. I don't know if Disney was really doing it, but there were some articles going around of like it being their first like openly gay character in an animated movie, because there's a whole subplot about I think like there's like there's a subplot about like a same-sex relationship, and I saw someone made a joke of like, all right, let me add this to the list of the first openly gay Disney character, because it happens. It's been like one a year. They just make it slightly more transparent every time. I think that they finally reached the threshold where they can't crop it out for international audiences anymore. I guess that's the marker, because the first couple times they did this, if they mentioned it at all, which usually they didn't, it was just like like 2 lines of dialogue they cut out when they wanted to show the movie in China. Now they're getting a little bit better about like, okay, we just won't show this movie in this country.
Yeah.
Like I saw they did that for Eternals, because one of the main characters in Eternals is a dad. He's like married to a guy. So like, I don't really want to give Disney props for anything ever, but I guess that's good. I don't. Like if your representation has progressed to the point where you can't cut it out and the movie still makes sense.
I'm honestly trying to remember that being in that movie.
It was the Eternal that was like the inventor dude.
Yeah, I really just don't remember.
Okay.
In part because that movie was so bad.
It was very. I didn't think it was bad, but it was extremely long. It didn't need to be that long.
Yeah, it needed to be shorter for sure. It also just needed to be good.
Honestly, it either needed to be a shorter movie or it needed to be a 1-season Disney Plus show.
Oh God, I could not have watched more of that.
One of those two options. I can't do these 3-hour Marvel movies anymore. It's killing me. I need a bathroom break. They need to give me a bathroom break somewhere in there, or I'm gonna wait until it's on.
Well, it needs to be better. If they had made that into a show, it would have driven me crazy. I would never have been able to finish it. It was it was not good.
Well, I'll respectfully disagree with you, Cody.
Well, I mean,
it wasn't the most amazing movie, but I like most of it.
Consider this. Okay, granted, you would get some bathroom breaks out of it, but bear in mind, if they had made this into a Disney Plus show, you're taking what was a 3-hour movie and turning it into a 10-hour movie.
But I don't know. It could have been better.
It would have needed to be a lot better.
Yeah.
And can you imagine having more of those characters? And okay, a couple of them, not the worst characters. I'm not saying everyone in there was terrible. I'm saying the overall movie was really bad, and some of the characters were terrible. So if they had focused on the ones that were, not miserable dumpster fires, that could have been a good move. Could have been. But I don't think they would have been able to do that. Not unless they decided to focus the show very much on specific characters and let the others just sort of play backdrops. And honestly, the irony is some of the characters kind of play backdrops when they really should have been way, way more in the front.
Yeah, most Marvel stuff is getting to the point where like I'll watch it at some point.
Yeah, and I'm with you on that.
It's like I have zero interest in whatever the new Black Panther is, even though supposedly, apparently, okay. I just,
well,
I'm good.
The last 2 years of Marvel movies, I liked the fan service bit in Spider-Man. But aside from that, the last 2 years of Marvel movies, I haven't liked any of them. They've been fun. Okay, half of them have been fine, not good. Like none of them are even in the top 50% of Marvel movies, in my opinion. Like if you're ranking them up and down on a list, I don't think anything that's come out in the last 2 years has been in the top 50%. But I can watch most of them. There are two or three. Probably three that I would rank as not even worth watching. Eternals is one of those. Shang-Chi is another one. That one was so lame. Not hateable like Eternals, but just lame. What was the other one that came out around the same time?
I was kind of liking it until the last like 20 or 30 minutes when it's just entirely CG, like world destroying stuff. Like it's the same thing for me where like I know you don't like it. I mostly like Man of Steel, but that last like 20 minutes where it's entirely just Superman and Zod slamming each other into skyscrapers, like it's a little time. We need to wrap it up. Wrap it up, guys.
It's funny. Back when the third Matrix movie came out, and I know I'm going way, way back in time for this, a full CG infight was kind of it was kind of special, and it was actually kind of well done. And weirdly, I think even now it holds up better than these full CG big massive fights in Marvel movies. Somehow Matrix did that better than any of the movies now.
What? I think a lot of it is just like, especially with older movies, there was less of this like action movie kind of shoots where everything is moving and shaking all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Where like you could actually see what's going on. Like that was the main thing that stood out to me when I was watching the new season of The Orville, which is the sci-fi show from Seth MacFarlane, compared to like any of the recent Star Trek, is that all of the recent Star Trek, it's filmed like the new movies, because I think like the showrunner is like one of the people who worked on the new movies.
Wait. When you say filmed like, I just have to ask, does it have excessive lens flares? Please tell me it does. Tell me they have the J.J. Abrams lens flares.
No.
Okay.
I think that, well, JJ's not on this, so.
Yeah, but come on. Like, anyone can imitate that.
Yeah, but like, all of the new shows, like every time they do something in space, like everything's like moving around, you can't really see anything. It's really funny. You can tell when something was introduced in one of the new shows, because you go on the Star Trek wiki and you look for like the ship or something, and the photo they have on the wiki article is like a picture someone took of a UFO, like one of those like blurry like hot air balloon kind of photos that you see in like conspiracy theories for UFOs. Like you can't really see anything. And it's annoying because like these animators probably spent hours and hours making these very detailed, cool scenes, and they're just like, all right, fuck it up, move the camera around a bunch. But in the Orville, like they just do the like, all right, ships moving through space, or they'll do like a battle where like stuff is moving around, but they don't like blur it, so you can actually see stuff, and it looks really cool. Like that is like one of the coolest things I've ever seen on a TV show or movie. Like all of the battles they do, and it's just because they don't blur anything. And it's like it's so simple. Why are we doing this? But
well, God, I know it's not the same thing, but it just that summons to mind all of the terrible Bourne movie, the shaky fight scenes. I hate that. I was ranting about that from like the very first Bourne movie. It became the thing to just make your fight scenes super shaky. Get your cameraman like 10 cups of coffee, a can of Jolt, and send him in there to hold the camera like 2 feet, literally 2 feet away from the fight, because that's the only way you can make it look terrible enough to fit this style. And
I feel like the TV version of this was The Office, where it made everyone do the like mockumentary style, some dude holding the camera, moving around, bobbing all the time, and just every show is like that now.
Yeah, but that was very, very short-lived. Fortunately, God, that was a bad thing.
A lot of TV with that.
Yeah, that was a wonderfully short-lived trend. The Bourne fights, that lasted way too long. I'm so thrilled that did not persist indefinitely, because it seems like that's dead. And in large part, I think that died. Not that I think these are the best movies, but in large part, I kind of want to give credit to John Wick for landing the final death blow to the Bourne fights. Because while it's not perfect about this, for the most part, the John Wick movies, they're really keen on the idea of just back the camera off. No shaky, make it smooth. Everything for the most part tries to stay. And
it like slows down a little bit. Like you can see them like kicking each other. It's not like you're like cropped and it's the camera's been sped up.
Yeah, and plus credit to Keanu and their fight choreographers for the fact that these guys actually do like long takes and get it right each time. It's impressive how much work they have to do to get their fight scenes right. And for those who are curious, yes, there is another John Wick movie coming.
I need to watch those again. I forgot. Austin said, "Are you ready for Avatar 2? Shut up."
I have so little I didn't even like. Okay, I was weird. I didn't like the first one. I mean, I didn't hate it exactly, but I didn't think it was very good.
I saw the first one once. It was a movie. I believe what happened was it was the end of the school year and my science teacher didn't have anything left to do. So we watched the Avatar in class. It was, I don't know, I remember it being like fine. Maybe I'll watch it again at some point. But I don't know, maybe Avatar 2, if it's like funny enough, I might go see it like 2 months after it comes out when there's no one left in the theater. But like
I'm skeptical it's gonna last in the theater 2 months.
Yeah, I don't know. I will say okay, so again, my concept of Avatar is I've seen it once like 8 years ago. And it was like, I remember almost nothing. And last month I went to Disney, which has an Avatar land in one of the parks that they built a couple years ago. And I had not been there yet. And there's like it was kind of weird. There's two rides. One of them is like a boat ride, which sucks ass. I was so mad, Cody. All the lines are terrible at Disney. You know this.
Yeah.
The line for that was terrible, and the ride was so boring. It was literally just a boat, and you're going through the forest from the movie, and you just see like the little like projections of the animal creatures they've made. That's it.
Oh wow.
I felt so ripped off. The other thing they have is it's a simulator ride where you're riding the flying creature from the movie, which you're like, okay, that's and that's the one I had heard was pretty cool. Mm-hmm. So it's like, all right, we're going to that one, and it was such a weird feeling because this entire thing felt like they were dumping an entire fan wiki of lore in like this one thing. It was very weird. Like I don't know if I can I guess I don't know, maybe if I was an alien and I was coming to Disney World for the first time, I would feel the same about like, I don't know, like any of the rides based on movies. Like if I was just not aware of Peter Pan at all and I went on the Peter Pan ride. I don't, maybe, but that one was weird because their angle for this ride was, number one, you're on the alien planet. Okay, all right, I'm with you. And then number two, you're going into this facility on the alien planet, which is a like, I don't know like reservation for these bird things. And then they explain to you that this is set up in with the blue people to help humans like know more about the blue people and the birds. I'm like, you guys, this is too weird for me. It was very weird.
Not that you care.
And they were like setting up like all this like biology shit of the fake aliens they made. They were setting up like an organizational
Disney
structure.
Does that though. Their rides.
I know. Yeah. They did do that, and like I can tell you part of this is the fact that like that the original like Harry Potter land at Universal like completely fucked with them, because Universal made a shitload of money with that this idea of like, okay, you're like actually in the place and like we're all pretending you're in the place, and like there's this whole extra layer of shit. So that one just felt really weird because it's like Avatar. Like at least with Harry Potter, some people care, and there's like multiple books about this that I'm sure have a lot of detail you can pull from. But like Avatar's one movie that no one remembers, and it's very weird.
Actually, very specifically, the no one remembers part stands out to me because I swear no one actually really remembers Avatar.
Yeah, it was a movie that was just the memory wiping thing from Men in Black.
Yeah,
they showed it at the end.
Yeah, it was so hyped up, so popular when it was in theaters the first time, and people couldn't seem to get enough of it, which at the time I guess I kind of get, because the effects were pretty good for the time. They weren't spectacular. Like anyone who watched enough movies had already seen all of those effects and should not have been impressed.
Yeah, I mean, like that was like 2009. Like we already had all of the new Star Wars trilogy that had, you know, CGI people in it, which only looked marginally worse.
Yeah, and I'm going to grant, like, I think now that they're coming out with the additional movies, they ran into a bit of a complication, because the CGI of 2009 was decent but not great. It's definitely not up to the standards we have today. But now they're coming out with these new movies where they had to make a choice between, do we make it look like the first movie so that we don't have this huge, 12-year gap in technology, or do we make them look new and just own up to the fact that the movies are going to look way better now. And they clearly chose, yeah, we're just going to make it look like the old movie because that's easier, cheaper, and we don't want it to look awkward. The problem is now people are going to see it and be like, oh, great, it looks like really good PlayStation 4 graphics.
Yeah.
That's a little harsh. I mean, it's a little better than that, but it's not like, spectacular.
It looks fine. It's just we hit this wall with this stuff like a decade ago. Where like you can make environments that look great, but it's just that when you do the faces, I tune out.
Yeah.
All the motion capture magic in the world, this stuff still looks really weird. Yeah, Austin said, did any of you watch The Hobbit? Yeah, I mean, at least with that movie, like, whatever production, whatever, I think it was, I don't think it was, I forget who distributed those movies, but they basically made, Peter Jackson, is that the director for those? I forget his name.
Well, yeah, it's Peter Jackson for the director.
Yeah.
But...
They basically made him do a bunch of shit he didn't want to do and rush out those movies. So I'll blame the movies, but not Peter Jackson, not my boy. But this is all James Cameron.
Well, let's take a moment just to slap Peter Jackson on one thing. 48 frames a second? Come on, dude. What
that was interesting.
What was he thinking? But okay, my boy. Whatever. Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I might fuck around and watch Avatar if they put it back on Disney Plus. They took it off for a while they were running it in theaters again, which was very funny. But
yeah, I mean, I will eventually watch these, but I'm not feeling any compulsion to do so. I definitely didn't like they re-released a like remastered version of the first one. They put that in theaters like a month ago. I had no desire to see that, and I'm not really inspired to go see Way of the Water when it comes out. Or sorry, The Way of Water. I mean, I will watch these someday. I don't care enough.
Yeah, especially again, how long are these movies?
Oh,
I'm like, come on, dude. And again, there's like all these other movies that came out like 30 years ago that I still haven't seen that have like 98% on Rotten Tomatoes I can watch. But still won't. I'll still just watch Star Trek.
Okay, just for reference, obviously this could be wrong, but it probably isn't. According to IMDb, Avatar: The Way of Water is 3 hours and 12 minutes.
God.
And theaters are gonna be so angry at this.
It's Avatar. No, they won't, because Disney. Well, they're already angry because Disney forces them to do anything they want. So,
yeah, actually, to be fair, this might actually be good for theaters, because people at 3 hours and 12 minutes, people are definitely going to at some point get up and go get food or whatever from the concessions.
Yeah, or they can just put a credit card reader on the door to the bathroom, and you can. if you went and saw Avatar, you have to pay money to use the restroom. That's what James Cameron would have wanted.
Yes. Huh. Okay.
That being said, I did see Glass Onion yesterday. Very good. Yeah.
Is it better than Knives Out?
I don't know if I could really put one over the other. I'm not. It's like a similar like format, but it's just they made it bigger.
Okay.
Basically, like instead of a this isn't a spoiler, but like instead of like the one house that everyone's in for the first movie, you're on like this like private island that's like huge and different. So they just, it's a similar-ish movie.
So,
I saw some people were like, oh, it didn't have as many twists as the first one, which I don't know if that's true, but also I get very easily bamboozled by movies. So really, if it has like at least one twist, I'm kind of like, whoa, that was crazy.
okay, so Austin just said he didn't like Knives Out at all. Here's the thing. I really didn't like Knives Out that much. It was okay. I didn't hate it. But all the hype about that movie was that there was a bunch of plot twists and they were like stuff was unpredictable, and of course they had going in all that hype about Apple devices, which God, the fact the director was it Feige?
Who are we talking about?
Knives Out.
The director is Ryan Johnson.
Ryan Johnson, sorry. Sometimes my brain mixes those two. Because Ryan Johnson did that said that whole thing about the villains can never have iPhones. Which, God, I want someone to strangle him for saying that, because that was the dumbest thing to say. It's just like in his movie, when you're taking products from Apple, yes, that's true. In any other context, it's a total BS. It is not true in the least. There's so many things with villains holding iPhones. You can disprove him in literally seconds. But anyway, as much hype as there was for this movie, honestly, it just didn't have most of this. It didn't have that many creative plot twists to it. It felt very predictable. And a lot of the things that got hyped in the movie just didn't really feel like they were that worth it. I didn't hate it. I was fine with it. It was a watchable movie. It was entertaining enough. There were one or two casting choices I think they screwed up. But yeah, it was fine. So I'm hoping Glass Onion is better.
I don't know if I've seen it. I don't know if you'll enjoy it. I don't know if I've seen a take from someone who didn't like the first one but really liked the second, because it is like it's a similar-ish movie, but just different people, different place.
Yeah.
The actual like mystery is in itself a mystery for a little bit of the movie, but yeah, I don't know. I thought it was good. I like Knives Out. But yeah, I don't know. Again, I don't have anything else to say. I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed it, and it wasn't 3 hours long. I did have to pee though. So I might have missed some crucial detail somewhere.
Well, the cast list looks a little bit more maybe delicately chosen, so that gives me some hope. I don't know. I'll end up watching it. Like, I'm not, like I said, I didn't hate Knives Out. I didn't think it was a terrible movie. I just think every bit of hype about it was wrong, and it was just an okay-ish movie. So yeah, Glass Onion, as long as it lives up to that same level, and I now know to expect very okay-ish and not that special, yeah, it could be fine. But man, this is also one I'll ask you, but I think I already know the answer. There's no reason to rewatch Knives Out ahead of going into this, right?
No.
Good.
No, like it's set later, but like they don't bring anyone back except Daniel Craig.
Yeah, okay. So there is no chance I will rewatch the first one for that. I may rewatch it someday, but
Yeah,
I'm not feeling any compulsion to.
Yeah. Austin said Knives Out and Joker were extremely overrated. I would agree with Joker. I saw that one again. That's another one I saw once in theaters. I haven't seen it again.
I've never seen it, and I don't think I will.
Yeah, like I guess like it was okay, but I don't know. I don't. It was kind of a weird movie, and there is that extra element where like it's kind of hard to do like a serious movie about this kind of stuff, because you get into the problem where it's like, okay, now we have to have a serious discussion about like if you're a mentally unstable person, are you going to become a criminal, like mass murderer person? It's like, like we could do that in comics maybe, or some superhero movies, but especially this one where they like really tried to hone in on that. I don't know if it like fully worked. And also, I really didn't like that movie because it made more people unironically associate with the Joker.
Yeah, that's
like
what
there was that whole thing where like we were actually worried someone might. Wasn't there actually a shooting when this was playing
in this country?
I know.
Yes, there was actually a shooting. Wait, was it this or?
I think there was one, and then that's why everyone else got worried. Like, hey, maybe don't go see this movie while it's playing.
Well, are you sure it was this, or was it a Batman movie? Part of me feels like it was a Batman movie.
I don't think it was. There was. You're thinking of. There was a mass shooting on July 20th, 2012. In Colorado during a midnight screening of The Dark Knight Rises.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. Joker was a lot more recent, but
okay.
I feel like the Batman movie sticks in my head more as the event for that, but
okay, all right. I'm sorry. That's what I was thinking of. Is there was a whole news cycle because that happened. That because this was going to be in theaters, people were worried they would try it again.
Oh, okay.
I guess it didn't end up happening. I don't know. I'm sure there were like 12 mass shootings that occurred during that movie's theatrical run, because that's where we were at.
So I will say, because it definitely has that kind of thing has definitely come up as a topic, because there are people who idolized that version of the Joker.
Yeah, that's one of the worst takeaways is that people doing that. Like, I don't know, this is a really big issue that like is really fucked up and also makes me hate all this media, is the people who is people watching a movie about a very bad person who is framed in a bad light, but because they have to make the villain like 1% sympathetic, they're like, oh yeah, I'm that person.
Mm-hmm.
So we got that with this Joker. We got that with Suicide Squad Joker, which is insane because that was just a shitty character. Also,
did we really get that with Suicide Squad Joker? Because I think no one liked him.
It was a little bit.
I don't.
Also,
I think everyone pretty much universally hated him, either because of the acting, or because of just the crappiness, or even just the fact that he was on screen for all of like 12 seconds.
Yeah, it might have been just the fact that like this thing about the Joker has been an issue for like a long time, and he was just the most recent one. But yeah, like it was the Joker. Like this happens all the time with Rick from Rick and Morty. Where like, oh, I'm just like Rick. I'm so smart. No one gets like, no, he's an asshole. You're not supposed to like, and it's like people like relating with someone from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Oh,
like,
God.
no, you're not supposed to do that.
Yes, these are literally character stereotypes you're supposed to avoid being. They're making fun of you.
Yeah.
For being like this. Don't try to be like this. Okay, so I just to pick out I think a much earlier example of all these, House, the show House, the doctor on there, played by Hugh Laurie, He was smart alecky. He was a snarky bastard. And there were so many people after that show who decided they just kind of wanted to be like him. And, you know, they weren't smart, so they couldn't pull it off. They weren't a
TV character where the plot gets resolved in 20 minutes.
Yeah. Like, yeah, it sort of prevents you from being able to act like the a-hole. And as we all know, the only way, even if you are that smart, you can't usually get away with acting like the a-hole. You have to have billions of dollars for that.
Right. You have to be Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos.
I mean, I wasn't going to name because honestly, there's too many other good examples. But yes, yeah. If you were a pompous piece of garbage, but happen to have billions of dollars to throw around, yeah, you can be the a-hole.
Yeah, I liked them. I thought Glass Onion was pretty good. I probably will not see Avatar 2. I think at some point, because I was like subjected to all this weird lore, I feel like I want to watch the first one because I don't have to spend money and go drive somewhere to see that movie, just to figure that out, and then I'll see. I don't know. It's very. I'm just bewildered that Avatar 2 exists, and we got so many more.
Yeah.
I can't think of another example of that where like something made a shitload of money and then just nothing happened for like a decade. Like not even like Star Wars, because there were like 3 back-to-back Star Wars movies almost, and then nothing happened for a decade. There was like one of these, and also like Star Wars was memorable. Like it had like a pretty common plot, but it was presented well and looked cool. Avatar 1 had aliens with tails.
Yeah.
It's like I can't think of another example of this. I'm sure there's some, but it's very weird.
Well, the one thing that has to be said is, since we're already kind of on the topic of movies having big effects on people, just wait. The furry love for Avatar is coming. Maybe not quote unquote furries, but there will definitely be that thing coming back, because there was a lot about Avatar back when it came out. That was the one group that kept remembering Avatar. Everyone else forgot it, except for the people who sexualized it. They did not let that go for a long time.
I don't know if the furries are behind this or not. I haven't talked with furry friends recently, but I feel like if I was in their place, I've already had a lot of gifts recently. Like we had there was a whole cycle of the bad guys for that DreamWorks movie that had a bunch of animated animals in it. We already had Zootopia a couple years ago, which is a movie, but
it was actually a good movie.
I liked it when it came out, and then I rewatched it somewhat recently, and I realized it's now kind of in that category of Disney movies where they try to tackle a social issue and they get like almost there, and then they fuck it up with like one little thing.
Yes. Okay.
Like it's like, all right, great, you made a movie that racism is bad, and most police don't actually give a shit about protecting people. All right. And then you end it with all of the main characters becoming cops. I'm like, damn it, Disney.
Yeah.
Why'd you do that?
Okay.
You had one job.
Yes. I remember watching it, and even when I first watched it, I remember thinking, oh wow, they were on the way to a few things. They had a couple points in that movie, and they screwed them all up, but at least they introduced subjects. They kind of opened the door for people to have a deeper understanding of a topic in some way. And they weren't shy about it. They just screwed it up in the end. So, some credit to them for this. That being said.
I watched that, and then I know this is not like like Zootopia is like a family movie, so this isn't comparable. But like I watched that, and I think of like all the like 80s action movies that had better social commentary. Like RoboCop, like
Okay.
RoboCop, like right, like you watch the movie, you're like, oh cool, it's like a robot cop, that's cool, and then it's like, oh, this is a movie about how like companies taking over or like privatizing governments is bad, and also police forces are not are like being crushed under the weight of capitalism. But it's like a silly like it's like behind an action movie about a robot person.
Yeah. So I just... Oh. Wait, what the... Did you refresh?
Oh yeah, my Safari had a thing.
Because my camera appears to be frozen. The
Oh.
moment you did that, I am
And
frozen
also-
in the weirdest position. What the hell happened?
I think you might have. You were frozen for me, but I assumed it was a Jitsi thing, so I quickly reloaded.
Huh. Okay. Yeah, I am very frozen.
We need to thaw out Cody, everyone. Grab your shovels.
Okay,
Or
let's...
fire. Everyone post a fire emoji in the chat so we can thaw out Cody. I'll find the fire on my keyboard.
Okay, so let's see if unplugging and replugging the camera will fix this. I bet it doesn't.
You are I see movement, but it might be your. Oh, it's your other camera.
Oh, yeah, here, I'll fix that for you. Not that that matters.
Cody side.
Oh, no, the camera just did not reconnect yet. Or did not reconnect at all.
Good job, everyone. We're thawing out Cody.
Okay, so Jitsi detected the camera as an audio device, but it... Wait. Oh, okay. I'm kind of back, sort of. Alright, switch that, and... Okay, if I... Where's the webcam? There it is. Resize the webcam. Back, I just now have a barely... Okay, the green screen corrected itself. Cool. So, fixed-ish. Unfrozen it.
Your Jitsi is on the side camera.
Yeah, I know. That...
Okay.
Hold on, let me refresh because I think there's no fixing that until I do. Oh yeah, and the dumb whiteboard is still here.
Yeah, that re-up, I don't know. That might just be permanently there.
Okay, no, that did not fix the camera, so...
Okay, that's fine. I can talk to your green screen.
Yeah. Well, you still see me.
Yeah, you're there. You're there.
They're all... We'll even give you a little bit more centered view.
Yeah.
That's kind of fine because I actually, 9 times out of 10, I'm turned this direction anyway. So I'm sort of turned towards you as it is.
Great.
Okay, what was I going to say?
Hopefully something about how good of a movie RoboCop is.
Oh, no. Actually, I have never watched RoboCop through. And I don't think I ever will.
I like RoboCop 1. RoboCop 2 was... It didn't really make sense, but it was one of those like late stage practical effects movie where the big robot was like a model that they did stop action on, and it looks really cool. And that's really the only value of that movie. And then the 3 is garbage.
Yeah, okay, I can understand that. I generally feel similar things about Terminator. But obviously that's a lot more special effects that are a little bit more advanced. Regarding the, like, sort of social commentaries, I just happened to rewatch the Lethal Weapon movies. I don't know why. I just weirdly had this odd compulsion to go back and rewatch the Lethal Weapon movies, which kind of by accident, I've been watching a lot of just, in general, Mel Gibson movies. I don't know why that happened, but it just seemed to have popped open a bunch of his movies. Anyway, I started paying attention to weird things in the background and some of the things that were happening. And those movies have always touched on kind of key things, like obviously racial issues. That came up obviously in like half of them. They brought up human trafficking. They brought up various other things. But if you pay attention in the backgrounds, they have a lot of stuff hidden away, like borderline Easter eggs. Like, they actually had a poster up about like, I forget what it was, but it was basically kind of a poster that would have been part of the gun control narrative. But back at the time of these movies, which was really unusual. There was a lot more progressive stuff in there than I expected. And the movies at large were actually surprisingly progressive. Which makes it all the funnier that Mel Gibson for so long was tied with people who weren't.
I've not seen those movies.
I mean, it's hard to predict if you would like them. I think they're good. I mean, of movies of that time period, they hold up very well. Like, those movies, aside from a few very small details, for the most part, you could release those today and people wouldn't really notice. Like, the only thing that would be kind of off is maybe a couple of hairstyles. Well, definitely a few hairstyles. Mm-hmm. And there's maybe a couple of things that if you saw them, you'd go, oh yeah, no, the laws have changed since then. But aside from that, like, pretty much everything's
oh yeah. I was trying to remember if Mel Gibson was the person I thought he was in my head. And it's always a good sign when the Wikipedia has an entire header for controversies about a person. And yes, he is the person I was thinking of that really liked using the hard N word.
Oh wait, did he?
Oh no,
he was the one who went on a drunken tirade about the Jews.
Yeah, he doesn't like Jewish people.
Which, yeah, it's very unclear if that was actually an issue that he really has with them, or if that was more of just the drunken rampage moments. Because there was other stuff where apparently he didn't really have that any issues with them or individuals. He didn't. I don't know.
Yeah, he was drunk when he said the Jews thing, and then he. Okay. Yeah. This section was worded weird. It was talking about a televised interview later, and it says he affirmed the accuracy of the quotations, and I thought that meant he said it again, but it was him saying, no, I did say that.
Yeah.
Of course, he said he was sorry afterwards.
Yeah.
You know, who among us hasn't made a comment about an entire group of people while hammered?
Yeah.
Classic mistake. Also, there's some great stuff about not liking gay people in here too. That's cool.
Really? I wonder how they talked him into some of the jokes that are in Lethal Weapon, because Lethal Weapon, if I remember, it was reasonably okay with that.
Uh, yeah, he said not nice things about gay people in a 1991 interview. And then in 1999, when he was asked about it in a different interview, he said, "I shouldn't have said it, but I was drinking a bit of vodka during that interview." So maybe he should stop publicly drinking. I think that I'm noticing a pattern here.
Yeah, his drinking may not be doing him well.
Or the drinking is the cover. One of the two.
Yeah, that's possible. See, when you said that he may have dropped the hard in, it's like, wait, that's actually the one thing I genuinely would not believe, because he co-stars with a black actor in his biggest franchise in 4 movies in a row. His comeback movie, that Santa Claus movie from 2 years ago, he's married to a black woman in that. Like, the one thing that he consistently has going for him is he seems very okay with different races. Like, everything else he might be screwed up on, but that seems to be the one thing, like, you can't fault him on. At least so it would seem. You never know. Maybe he's a better actor than we ever gave him credit for.
Yeah, this Wikipedia article is treasure. Austin said, so Mel Gibson was the old Kanye, or should it be the new Kanye?
If anything, definitely, I would say he was the first that was actually canceled for anti-Semitic remarks.
And just like every cancellation of a famous person, it wasn't real. And he went right back to doing what he was doing before. Right
back? That he was out for a while.
Okay. A little while. But again, you know.
Well, when was that controversy?
Wikipedia says he said the N-word in a sentence I'm not going to repeat in July 2010.
Okay, but the anti-Semitic thing.
Oh. 2006.
Yeah. He was out for a pretty long time after that.
Yeah, and then it says Hacksaw Ridge in 2016 is generally regarded as when he was allowed to make things again.
Yeah, and even that didn't. That movie got a very minimal acceptance in theaters for a number of reasons, but I think by and large most people figured that Santa Claus movie he did in 2020 was kind of like his big comeback moment. That being said, Austin said, so Elon's going to bring him back. I would argue Mel Gibson is back. He had 7 movies this year. Mm-hmm. And honestly, like, half of them were given pretty premium placement or promotion. About the other half really did not, but hey, that's a whole separate issue. Mostly because, frankly, I think those movies were not going to do well anyway.
Yeah,
I would say Mel Gibson is back.
Yeah, I'm still worried when Hollywood will decide that we can let Kevin Spacey out of his cage again.
Okay, let's be fair. If letting him out of his cage really just opens up the opportunity for someone to actually throw him in a real cage someday.
Yeah, please.
Because that man committed actual crimes.
Yeah.
Well, to be fair, Mel Gibson drove drunk. That is a crime. But I mean, we're talking really bad. Days in jail versus Kevin Spacey's what likely could actually be pretty long sentences.
Yep. Yeah, I guess that's he's gonna try. It's not gonna be fun. But yeah. So anyway, and speaking of quote unquote canceled people, there was I think 3 ads for that new Santa Claus series on Disney Plus.
The Tim Allen thing.
Yeah. Where Tim Allen is um, Santa Claus again, which is very funny after all the bitching Tim Allen did. That like, oh, Disney doesn't want to work for me anymore because I like Trump. And
Wait, did he actually say he likes Trump?
I don't know if he likes Trump, but he's like very Republican.
Yeah, well, I remember I looked this up a couple 2, 3, 4 years ago, whatever it was, because someone was handing around something that was supposedly a quote. It was debunked because he definitely did not say the thing. It just happened to coincide with something everyone was pretty sure he would say. Yeah, so but the thing,
he's mostly just like boomer posting on Twitter.
Exactly. Yeah, he acts like he would be on that side, but from what I heard, he's actually not a fan of Trump specifically. But he aligns with the party, which is bad enough.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was thinking of the fun again. This is why I'm glad I'm not on Twitter anymore, or trying not to. Recovering addict. Is there was the whole discourse when the new Buzz Lightyear movie came out, which had Chris Pratt.
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans, the other Chris, one of the other Chris's.
Yeah, one of.
Yeah, as Buzz Lightyear, because it's like a different Buzz Lightyear, and also you can just use a different voice. You don't really need a reason. And people projected onto Tim Allen that he was canceled.
I mean, I will grant, I think there were actual reasons for choosing to go with a different voice, some of which entirely had to do with Tim Allen, others had nothing to do with Tim Allen. Yeah, and I really like the argument some people made. This was literally a different Buzz Lightyear. Yeah, this is literally the actual person, not a toy. Well, when the actual person, actual made-up person, but whatever. The fictionalized thing that the toy was based on. And it would have been a version of Buzz Lightyear from like a decade earlier or something.
Yeah, it was supposed to, like, the timeline gets a little weird, but
yeah,
it is a different Buzz. You can have a different voice for it, and also Chris Evans has, I'm guessing, a lot more draw to a movie at this point than Tim Allen.
Massive name recognition.
Yeah. Tim Allen, whose sole employer is the Walt Disney Company. By the
yes. Way. Well,
he's done nothing else.
I mean, Chris Evans, up until recently, his sole employer was also just Disney.
Yeah, but he can also do other things, whereas Tim Allen does nothing else.
Yeah. And will do nothing else.
Yeah, so that was a fun week on Twitter, but I thought that Buzz Lightyear movie was okay. I'd watch it again, but it was just fine.
I never now here's the time for you to hassle me to watch something. I never even watched the first Toy Story. And obviously have not seen any since, and therefore also never have and probably never will watch Lightyear.
I mean, I don't think Toy Story is like the first Toy Story. I don't think is like an absolute incredible masterpiece. It's just historically important. Toy Story 2, I think, is better. I think it's like a better movie. Toy Story 3 is really good. But again, like, none of these are like, I don't think they're like cinematic masterpieces. They're just, whenever they come out, they're like the highest bar at that point in terms of visuals for an animated movie.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then Toy Story 4 was kind of weird, but it looked really good. So
the thing for me was when Toy Story came out, I wasn't really, well, and even now, I don't watch a lot of animated movies. I watch now, I don't know, maybe 2 a year. And it's just kind of whichever random ones catch my attention at the right time. But yeah, I don't watch a lot of them. I never really got super into most animated movies. And when Toy Story came out, I was really, really not watching animated movies. And I am very much one of those people that I pretty much always need to see the first movie in a franchise before I continue on to the rest. So, seeing as I never got around to watching the original Toy Story, when the others came out, I pretty much just stuck with I didn't see the other ones, well, I'm not going to bother with this one. So, yeah.
I'm not sure. I don't know. I need to go through Pixar's catalog again. I was about to say I'm not sure which of the Toy Story movies would make it into like my top 5 from them. I think it might honestly be like 2 in there and that's it, but I don't know. I need to watch these again because every time well, not every time, but some of the Pixar movies I've rewatched lately have been just disappointing to 24-year-old Corbin. Especially when I'm watching like WALL-E, which was one of my favorite movies growing up. It's such a good movie. And it's again another one of those like, wow, Disney made a movie about how like corporations absorbing into one and also becoming the government is bad. And also climate change is bad. And all this other stuff. And it's like, great. And all that is wrapped up in this movie where like, haha, look at the fat person on the chair that falls over, and then we laugh at him as he can't get back up on the chair. And we do that 10 more times in the movie. I'm like, oh, you guys, you're killing me here. It's like the exact same thing as Zootopia.
Yeah.
And also, I still haven't seen some of Pixar's recent stuff. I saw one of their my brain doesn't work. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Would you agree with this take? Pixar and Marvel have both taken the same trajectory of making things everyone pretty universally liked, and then more recently we're like, yeah, we're just gonna phone it in.
I don't think so. Like
okay.
I think they're more.
Okay.
I think they've always been, at least in the maybe ever. I think they've been very hit or miss, but the misses are more noticeable because their highs are very good. Like, they can make really great movies. So then when they make just like an extremely mediocre movie, it's like, holy shit, they really fucked up this time.
Yeah, that's true.
Like I saw, Lightyear was just like, okay. Honestly, I forgot that was Pixar. I thought that was just a Disney animated, but that was Pixar.
Yeah.
I saw Turning Red, which I thought was really good. I've not seen Soul or Luca, which are supposedly very good. I saw Onward, which was 2020, that had the other Chris
Pratt.
Chris Pratt. That was pretty good. So.
Okay, well, all right. I think actually what I've kind of gathered, and what I remember hearing a lot of times, is Pixar is bad at making sequels. I mean, not always bad. Sometimes they're very good at it, but their originals tend to be good, and then they're very hit and miss with the sequels. Like, famously, Cars went horribly off the rails.
Yeah, they stuck on Cars for way too long. I don't know why they did the things they did. Well, I know part of the reason
why.
Well, I know is partially because I'm sure Disney would like them to keep doing it because it's very easy to sell toy cars.
Exactly,
cars.
It's the same reason why Star Wars had the Ewoks. Yeah. They really needed something cuddly for kids to buy.
Yeah, it was also partially. John Lasseter's fault because he really fucking liked that franchise, and he was in charge of Pixar for a very long time. Until I don't know if he came back, but he was pushed out at one point because he was being kind of a creep. Like he was like very very touchy feely with the female Pixar employees.
Why is this so much of a thing? Why are
I don't know. So it was mostly his fault that we had so many Cars movies. I don't know. I haven't seen the third one. Maybe it's okay, but
I
don't
know
really
I didn't
care.
hear great things about it, but
Yeah. Also, yeah, and Incredibles 2 was just very okay.
I heard it was basically the exact same movie, just
Yeah. But yeah, I think they're still good. Like I really like Turning Red. I thought Lightyear was fine, not like absolutely incredible, but I think that they're mostly fine. That's been interesting to see them operate at the same time as Disney's like own animation studio. And of course, after Disney bought Fox, they killed off Blue Sky, which was also making some pretty good stuff, but not anymore. Also, they made one more Rio movie than they probably should have.
yeah. I'm trying to remember. What was Rio a spin-off from some other?
No, it's his own thing.
Maybe I'm never sure if I watched that or not.
I saw it once or twice. It was, but
Yeah.
Blue Sky was the one that was pumping out Ice Age movies constantly.
Yeah, I only watched I think the first two. And I watched that it's like it was I think a half-hour thing of just Scrat, which that was great. I mean, anything with Scrat was good. That was massively better than Ice Age. Don't at me. Actually, I don't even think that's a hot take. Like, just saying that Scrat is the best thing ever is pretty much an automatic win.
Yeah, there's a funny little squirrel.
Well, and yeah, who doesn't love him? But yeah, I don't know. Again, like most of the animated stuff, I don't have anything against it. Just a lot of it doesn't really grab hold of me. Which, as a result, I have seen very, very little of Pixar's movie lineup.
They tend to make animated movies.
Yes, it's sort of their thing.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm pulling up I should have done this a while ago. I'm pulling up the list to see what I have seen out of their lineup.
Yeah, I had to look up a list because I've forgotten some of their more recent stuff.
Yeah,
or
so
not forgotten, but forgot it was them.
Yeah, coincidentally, I actually did watch Soul, which got really positive commentary, but I would argue probably could not have been considered one of their better movies. It was fine, I guess, but it wasn't that good, and it was weird. I never watched the Finding movies.
I need to watch all of these with adult Corbin, but I thought Finding Nemo as a movie was pretty good. Finding Dory was more of just a comedy, which was fine, but it wasn't like the same thing.
Yeah.
And also that's a little bit less entertaining now when Dory was Ellen DeGeneres, who is now infamously a piece of shit. I mean, it's not like, it's not like Kevin Spacey. Like, I really can't watch this anymore. But it's like,
yeah, don't get me wrong.
Less entertaining.
There's a certain degree where the actor can kind of make something feel worse, but I'm not fully prepared to say, hey, this thing that I liked before, I no longer like because of something.
I'm not saying I wouldn't watch Finding Nemo again. It's just like in the back of my head for some of it.
Yeah. Well, part of it is like, the example I always go back to is Firefly. I love the show Firefly. It doesn't matter. Adam, damn it, what's his last name? Same as
Oh, you're talking about one of the actors. I was thinking you were saying it's bad because of the director dude.
Yeah. Oh my god, why am I blanking on names of both of these people?
Joss Whedon.
Yeah, Joss Whedon.
Joss Whedon.
Yeah, I know Joss Whedon has pretty well ruined his name.
Just don't try to think too hard while you're watching the Avengers again.
I don't. It's the Avengers. You don't have to think that hard. Yeah. No, look, I like a lot of Joss's stuff. That's the problem. I'm not going to stop liking a lot of the stuff just because he happened to be kind of a creep in real life. And the same goes with Adam Baldwin, who played Jane on the show. I mean, this guy, Adam Baldwin, was in a core central. He played a central role in Gamergate. Like, he is not a great person. But look, I like some of the stuff he was in. That is just a reality. So
it is a scale, and it's not, for me, it's never like consistent.
Yeah, and in fact, honestly, not to name names because I know some of this stuff isn't as well known, but if you look over the cast of Firefly, Adam is not the only person with some not great history popping up. My advice: just don't look into it. Don't let it ruin everything else that you like that these people are in, because several of them are not in great positions. But that being said, yeah, I'm just
go back to the pick. What else have you seen in Pixar's list? I'm curious.
Okay, so I've seen Brave, and I gotta say I like Brave, but yes, it does have to have a but. They definitely did that thing where they started down a good road and then just kind of washed over it at the end and didn't really land their point nearly as well as they could have. I saw WALL-E many years late. It was good, I guess. It didn't jump out at me as being that wonderful, but it had some good stuff to it, and it was pretty clever that they managed to accomplish so much of a movie, or so much of the start of that movie without any dialogue.
Yeah,
that was
again, like, cool. That's again why the whole like catch thing kills me, because like it's a really impressive movie. It's just like, oh, you guys are killing me here. That was like that wasn't even necessary. You could have done anything else, but
let's see. I saw Ratatouille. I don't remember it super well.
It's pretty good.
Yeah, it was good. I don't remember. Yeah, I just don't remember it well enough. Let's see. I never saw. Oh, and I saw Monsters Inc., the original, none of the stuff that came after. Oh, did I see A Bug's Life? I don't think I did, but there's a possibility I did. Oh, no. Okay, I didn't see A Bug's Life. I did see part of it, but I didn't watch the whole thing. So yeah, that's it. So total: Monsters Inc., Ratatouille, WALL-E, Brave, and Soul. So 5 movies. Not bad. I mean, out of their whole list, that's decent.
I mean, I think you got at least half of the winners there.
Really? Because
I mean,
I would generally think people would say Toy Story.
Yeah, and any of the Toy Stories, Monsters Inc. definitely, Finding Nemo.
Yeah, Finding Nemo. I missed.
Incredibles. Again, I need to watch all this. That might be my favorite.
I was gonna say, I think most people would say The Incredibles is a must-watch.
Incredibles was really good, especially the music. My boy Michael went hard for that movie. He didn't have to try that hard, and he did, and I love him for it.
Yeah. Most people, I think, would argue Up is a must-watch.
Up was good.
And I don't know why I've never watched it, but I just haven't. Maybe that's one I'll go out of my way to check out sometime.
It's the classic Pixar movie where they kill a family member in the first 10 minutes.
A classic, yeah.
They have to do that every time.
Let's see. Would you say... let's see. Would you say Cars was a must?
I liked it when it was fairly new, but that was when I was like 10.
Yeah. That one was definitely aimed at youngers.
Yeah. I mean, like, from what I remember, it was fine.
The thing is, I feel like I've watched it. I've seen so many clips. So much stuff from that movie has just kind of been used in memes or replays or people just using them, like clipping it and throwing it into their YouTube videos for laughs. Like, a lot of that movie has just kind of been played.
Also, all of these are like, if you have turned on a TV in a hotel or something once, like, it's probably was halfway through playing on one of the channels.
Or if you've ever taken a flight where they have movies playing. Yeah. In fact, the last time I took a flight where there was a movie screen, I believe there was a Pixar movie, like either on demand or playing or something like that. I just didn't watch it. Let's see. Inside Out, The Good Dinosaur. Never saw those. Would you say Onward was special?
I thought it was good.
Must-watch territory or just...
I don't, it didn't like rock my world, I don't think, but it did successfully get me to almost cry when the main character on screen was just a detached pair of pants, which I thought was kind of impressive. They did like a huge emotional moment where it's just like you're looking at a, like, basically, like, technically like an invisible person that you only saw their pants.
Interesting.
So I thought that was kind of impressive. But that was 2020 when I was like already getting kind of like, okay, do we need Chris Pratt in like everything? Like I'm getting a little Chris Pratt out here.
Okay, I'll count that one as a half point. And then you said Turning Red was...
Turning Red was really good, yeah. I thought that was good.
Okay, so I guess, yeah, I'm at basically 5 out of 10 of the must-watches, unless you get into sequels, which I didn't really count. Because I'm sure some of the Toy Stories would probably, more than just the first, probably belong in that list.
Toy Story 2, I think, is probably better than the first. The rest of the sequels are, I mean, they're good. Finding Dory I thought was good because it's just like a silly animated movie. It's not trying to be like a groundbreaking achievement of cinema.
Yeah, I don't think. See, Ellen DeGeneres was already not a draw for me, and then you make her a bad-ish person, and yeah.
She made herself a bad person.
You know what I mean.
Putting words in Ellen DeGeneres' mouth. Yeah, Incredibles 2. Again, I need to watch all of these again and see how I feel. But when Incredibles 2 came out, I thought it was just fine. I think that was really hard to make another one of. I think it would have been hard. Well, it obviously was hard for them to make a movie that surpassed the first, or at least met it. It was just fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll circle back and maybe look over this list sometime.
Yeah.
And
a lot of the Pixar movies, like, they at least have some like really solid jokes in there. Like Incredibles 2 had a few really good moments. Finding Dory had some good bits.
The one thing I think I can say though is, of the ones I've watched, with the exception of Soul, I did at least watch all good ones. Soul is the only one that I can conclusively say I would not watch again. It wasn't worth it.
I forgot they're making an Inside Out too.
What was that?
I forgot they're making an Inside Out too.
Mm.
I thought Inside Out was really good.
Oh, okay. So that's another one that I missed.
Yeah. Like Pixar's minimum is like okay. Like so it's you kind of just like, all right, which one like was like really impactful?
Okay, but I would normally say that about Marvel movies too, until the Eternals.
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't.
Marvel's
I don't know.
Marvel's lowest bar prior to the Eternals. Well, actually, sorry, their lowest bar prior to 2020 was the first Captain America movie. And
I was rewatching in early MCU. I need to go back and do that now that I have the Disney Plus, because I started rewatching. I watched the first Iron Man, which is of course very good, and then I watched The Incredible Hulk for the first time. I never saw it. That was a shit movie. Not a good movie.
Oh wait, you're The Incredible Hulk or
the whatever the one after Iron Man was. I know there was the other one in like 2005 or whatever.
Okay, just to be clear, we're talking the one with Edward Norton, right?
Yes. Yeah. The one that is it.
I actually like that one. I don't like it a lot. I don't think it's like anything special, but I do like it.
I liked the Abomination, whatever
Tim Roth's character.
The bad guy is in that, but
I love Tim Roth. He's fantastic.
That's just a weird movie.
Yeah. Well, it's definitely not great.
Yeah.
And
I'd probably watch that again over I don't know, that might be my least favorite because I've still skipped some of the other stinkers. Like I still haven't seen any of the other Thor 2.
I was gonna ask, have you seen Thor 2? Because
I've not.
Universally, I think that's the one everybody hates.
And I have a extra layer of hate for that because supposedly the reason why Christopher Eccleston, I forget how his last name is pronounced, but he was the main bad person in that movie, and that is apparently why he could not film the Doctor Who 50th anniversary special because of scheduling conflict. I don't know, that he might have also not done it anyway because he doesn't really like Doctor Who that much, but that was the stated reason why he was not there.
Okay, well, that kind of makes some sense.
Personal for me.
But generally speaking, like out of the early Marvel movies, like Captain America, I think was just kind of bad. Parts of the movie are fine. It's that there's the majority of it just feels like wasted time, and the villain looks so bad. Just absolutely terrible effects.
I'll have to watch again. I think part of the issue here is I'm a little bit of a sucker for like the alternate history stuff, and that's like one of the only times they like kind of did that in MCU.
Sure.
A little bit.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
Hulk, I like it, but I definitely wouldn't put it in the upper echelons of Marvel movies. Let's see. Thor: Dark World, which is Thor 2. Yeah, that one was not great. It's pretty low on the list. But yeah, as I scroll through, a whole bunch of the rest of these are pretty decent up until you hit the stuff that came in. Well, we'll just say the later stages. Black Widow was a decidedly not good movie.
Yeah.
And the problems are, well, I won't say it. There are a lot of problems in that movie. I personally thought Black Panther wasn't that good of a movie. There were parts of it that were great. There were other parts that were just, yeah. But yeah, anyway, as I scroll through the list, I don't see a whole lot of the oh my god, they're so terribles, except those very specific few, and then the stuff that you hit very recently. Actually, I guess really 2021 was the kicker year, because it just had stinker after stinker. Yeah, and the only thing that kind of saved it was Sony coming out with a Spider-Man movie that wasn't a total disaster.
That was like peak Marvel movie in that like it really wasn't a good movie, but because you saw someone you liked 10 years ago in it, it was like, oh, that's fun, I guess.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I really don't think it was even good in that general way, because they did the villains poorly.
Yeah, I didn't. They like made it like a joke. Like I forget when they brought on, like, I think it was like Doc Ock. They're like, "Oh, you mean octopus? That's so funny."
Okay, I'm actually going to take that a step further and say that the movie felt like the fetch quests in an MMO.
Yeah.
Quite literally.
It did feel like I'm playing Fallout and I've got all my, NPC allies with me, and we're going on a trip.
Yeah,
but my allies are William Dafoe. And
yeah.
Everyone else.
But quite literally, it was, how can we take these characters and create a series of things that the main character has to go do? Like, it was fetch quests.
Yeah.
In the worst kind of way. And not to say that there weren't some good bits, but there were a lot of much worse bits, and that's kind of where they just went wrong with it. So I think it was definitely not the best of the Spider-Man movies, but it was the best of the Marvel movies that came out in the last few years.
Mm-hmm. I might just be really messed up. I think I liked Eternals more.
You're definitely messed up.
The only thing that could flip it for me is Willem Dafoe in Spider-Man. He carried that movie on his shoulders. But I don't know.
Yeah, I wouldn't go there.
I see the complaints with Eternals where like it's really long and everyone is acting as if they're like frozen, and I do agree with most of that. But I liked the cinematography. Like, I thought there's a lot of shots in the movie that looked really good. The music was above average. The music in most Marvel movies is not good, or it's like the most cookie cutter thing.
Oh yeah.
Eternals was a little bit better. They got one of my favorite composers. I forget his name, but he was the same guy who did the music for like Westworld and Game of Thrones. I like him, and I don't know. And also the thing I really liked about it is like it was like the only Marvel movie that I've seen that like wasn't Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, after Guardians of the Galaxy came out, they made every Marvel movie like that. Where like, we can't have any serious moments for more than 30 seconds. We got to do a one-liner, and then more one-liners throughout the whole movie. But Eternals like took itself seriously for most of it, which I appreciated, even if the rest of it was like not that memorable. But yeah, awesome music was good.
Oh, huh, okay. You said that and I immediately was like, wait a second, didn't Iron Man 3 come after Guardians of the Galaxy? Nope. Because Iron Man 3 was the one that it annoyed me how overly serious they took it. Because that one they screwed up. It was too much of the sort of faux self-reflection and just getting deep in your own head kind of crap. And it wasn't that. It shouldn't have been that kind of a movie. And especially because then they had the parts that were ridiculous, like introducing the Mandarin the way they did. But yeah, then Guardians of the Galaxy came the following year. So yeah. yeah, pretty much everything that came after that was pretty silly.
Yeah, it's just like I don't know. It gets grating after a while when it's like, guys, you like spent all this time writing this movie. Like you can take it seriously for like 5 seconds. It's okay.
Well, wait a second. Oh, Avengers: Age of Ultron and Ant-Man both came the following year. I would argue,
Yeah,
both of those
yeah,
did a pretty good job with having sincere moments.
yeah, and they mostly did that fine with like whatever the newest Avengers was, the second part. I think Endgame.
Oh, Endgame, yeah.
Yeah, it's like they've gone back a couple times, but like the majority of their recent movies has been like, okay, we need to make a joke every 30 seconds.
Yeah,
there's no alternative.
There's a reason this has become a meme.
Yeah.
Though sometimes justified, sometimes not. Because to be fair, like certain movies, I kind of am okay that they do that, and then there's others like Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange is going too deep in the comedy, like just trying to be silly to a fault.
Like Guardians of the Galaxy, that was a great movie. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was amazing.
Yes. Wait, what?
But we don't.
wait, say that again.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was pretty good. Do you not like Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
Were you dropped on your head as a kid? Or as an adult? I mean,
well,
just
I do
generally...
really like Tron Legacy also. So might have some unresolved issues.
Okay, Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was, I would argue, the first half pretty good, pretty entertaining, generally likable. Once they get to that planet with with
the space dad.
When they meet Kurt Russell, basically from that moment on, that movie just becomes a bad drug trip that they could have easily done without.
I don't know if I've seen it since it came out on like Blu-ray, so I'll have to watch that again and get back to you. But yeah, also I'm very hungry now, so I'm probably gonna go get food before everything closes.
Yeah, I honestly think it's funny that we had multiple topics lined up, and in fact I had a whole discussion that I'll just save for next week at this point, because why not?
This is how I derail you, is getting you on movies. It's your movies, and then you derail me by making me complain about something I complain about all the time.
Yeah.
Like if it's like Linux or Chrome OS or something.
Yeah. But at the same time, I mean, who cares? That, like, how much news was there this week? I'm literally going to quickly fly through our topics, just literally naming them. We were going to talk about the Eufy cameras that turns out they were still possibly uploading footage, or definitely uploading footage to the cloud. We were going to talk about apparently somebody has developed a GPU driver for the M1 Mac that runs on Linux.
Yes.
It's neat. Was it?
Yeah, there was. Yeah, I thought, I mean, that was really cool, but again, there wasn't any groundbreaking.
Well, it's groundbreaking, but it's hard to talk about this.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very much like, oh, that's cool. I could never do this. Yeah.
Wait, what was this thing? I didn't actually catch what this was. The Amazon Luna library will be decimated in December. What is this about?
Amazon Luna is removing a bunch of games.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I guess I can talk about this like for like 2 minutes and then leave. But yeah. So Amazon Luna has kind of the pricing model that people thought Stadia was, which is where you pay a subscription and you get a bunch of games in it. And because it's a subscription, that can be taken away and replaced with other games at some point, just like what happens with Xbox Game Pass, or just Game Pass. They don't really put the Xbox in front of it.
Right.
So There's a bunch of games that are being removed from Luna by the end of the year. Presumably, the original contracts expired. Because I remember some of these were like original Luna games. Like I remember I tried Luna. I close to when it came out for PC Gamer. I got a review unit from Amazon that had the controller and some access to the games. And I remember playing like Ukulele, which is being removed, and I think one other game on here. But yeah, they're removing and these aren't like, some of these are pretty big games. Like there's like Resident Evil 7. They've got 2 Yakuza games on here. Myst,
Castlevania, even if it's a legacy game. Same with Contra.
Like Dirt 5, Dirt Rally. I saw SteamWorld Dig, which is like,
oh yeah, that's popular.
I mean, it's that was an indie game that everyone loved like 10 years ago. And I saw one other one.
Oh, I see R-Type in there, though. I think it's one that didn't do that well. Yeah. The list good. Isn't. If you take Resident Evil 7 out of this list, it's mostly things that if you showed me this list, I would pretty much go, okay, yeah, I kind of get it. Like, no one. There are people who are going to care, but not many. But when you fit in that and you just look at the size of the list, this is a lot of stuff to fall off.
Yeah, and this is like the base Luna subscription. Like they also do this weird thing where like you can pay for other groups of games. Like you can I don't know if they sell it, but there is the Ubisoft package that has like all of their games. I don't know if that's like if you pay for Ubisoft's thing that's in Luna. I think that's how it works, but so yeah, I don't know. It's weird that like presumably they either couldn't or didn't want to renegotiate these. Especially considering you would think Luna would be slightly interested in bringing on some Stadia people. That's not a big market, but it is a market of people that are like looking for something to replace it. And again, that's another like not great vote of confidence.
Okay,
there's a bunch of games being pulled.
I get that argument, and that is definitely the way that I think most people would rightly look at this. I'm gonna throw a bit of a counter argument. I think this is an example of just how Amazon operates, where somebody at the top is literally saying, will we lose money by not having these things? And at a certain point, and of course they're obviously factoring in competition. I think in this instance, they can literally look at the fact that Stadia is now going to be going away, and their answer to this is, oh, well, now we don't have any competition, so we can just keep people here. They'll keep paying for Luna, and we can pay less by just getting rid of a bunch of games. Yeah. So to them, this is an opportunity to just keep making the same money, or so they think, and just save in their cost. And if that's the case, like this totally makes sense. This is the obvious choice, is to rid their library of anything that they just don't need to pay for.
Yeah, it's this strikes me as more weird than like Stadia shutting down, definitely, because like at least like Amazon seemed like it was, I mean it might still, but like it was pumping out a lot of ads for Luna not too long ago. So it's kind of weird that they're now removing more games than they're adding. But I don't know. I mean, again, this is the subscription model. So games go in, games go out. But
yeah.
And on that note, I do have to go.
All right. Well, good you came by. There's not a whole lot going on, so yeah, it's a pretty low topic week. And while we say goodbye to you, I will quickly raise the question. If anybody has any topics they'd like to propose, feel free to mention in the RambleCast chat room.
Talk about me behind my back.
We do that all the time anyway. So, as usual, is there anything you'd like to plug?
No. Except go listen to Tech Tales, but I'm pretty sure everyone is or is never wants to hear me say it again.
All possibilities, certainly.
I did get my Spotify Wrapped for Tech Tales today. I'll put that in the YouTube chat. Spotify does their like wrap thing for users, where it tells you like, you know, what you listened to for the past year, but they also do it for podcast producers. So they give you like stats about the show, and they mentioned that in 2022, the top episode of Tech Tales was the one about Moonbase Alpha, which was from last year. I can't quite figure out why that people listen to that. I looked at the chart, and it was just kind of like a couple more people listened to it every day for like a month. I don't know what happened there. I have no explanation, but according to and also this is weird because like most people don't listen to Tech Tales through Spotify. I actually don't get that many listens through Spotify compared to actual podcast apps. But they did say there was 626 minutes of Tech Tales in the past year, 18 episodes. It got plays in 21 countries, and it said that the hours played went up by 999%, presumably because I had no listeners before.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah, like one person on Spotify clicked Tech Tales before this year, which checks out because Spotify is still not. Whenever I look at my stats, it's like mostly podcast apps that are not Spotify.
Yeah, I would imagine.
It's like people using like the Apple Podcast or Pocket
Cast.
Not really. I don't see Pocket Cast a lot in there. It's mostly. Oh, okay. If I look at the last 30 days, I get the top one is Apple Core Media iPhone, which I believe is like Apple Podcast plus other Apple things that index you.
It could be Siri.
And then and then Pocket Cast has 77, and then Overcast has 16. It's like Spotify doesn't. I don't know where Spotify would register on this, but I don't see it at a glance. But anyway, so yeah, it's kind of fun, and I'm gonna get through there.
All right. What the hell? Why is YouTube down trending right now?
I'm taking it with me. Oh,
all right.
Daisy says bye. Daisy
well,
says bye. Woo!
Have a good time, Daisy. Go for a walk and stay out of trouble.
Yes.
Okay. Well, with that, let's switch views. Did anyone have any topics to propose? I do not know what else to even ramble about because we pretty much lost. I blew through those last topics just naming them because I don't really have much to say on any of them. I guess like it's obviously a good thing that we're going to have or that someone has developed a GPU for Linux to run on, or GPU drivers to run on Linux when it's running on a M1 Mac. But yeah, aside from that, I don't know. I'm not overly excited by any of the news that has popped up this week. It's really not been that exciting of a week, which I think is kind of to be expected. And yeah, I had a discussion thing, but I really meant to do that while Corbin was here, and we ended up talking movies instead because that's just what we do. Wow, I I'm scrolling the Twitter, and it seems apparently YouTube was down about 4 hours ago, 5 hours ago. How did I miss that? So, especially because I watched... Oh no, I guess I didn't watch anything quite right then. But I was watching something around that time. That seems odd. Or, well, a little before that time. So I guess somehow I missed exactly when it went down. So, who do we still have with us? I'm assuming Austin is still here since he said goodbye to Corbin. I guess I could always do the quick skim of The Verge and see if they've said anything interesting in the last few hours. I could obviously always babble about Elon Musk, but it seems like that has just been so much has already been said about this. It's hard to dig deeper in that trench, that incredibly shallow trench. Wow, even as I'm skimming over this, it's not a lot of exciting stuff. Wait, their Cyber Monday thing still hasn't fallen off the front page. That's a thing. Netflix CEO says he'll order Dave Chappelle specials again and again despite employee backlash. Okay. I guess Dave Chappelle moves numbers, eh? Yeah, it really has been a slow news week, especially for tech. Oh, the YouTube issue was for iOS. I saw a few tweets that sort of implied that. I guess it was just the iOS app was broken. James Cameron hears your rumblings about Avatar's cultural impact and says you're wrong. Okay. I don't know that I want to try to find out more about this. I doubt I do. But yeah. Google's giving you live ads based on this RambleCast. Really? And what does that mean? I'm curious. Like, obviously it's not, or wait, is it? Are you getting, you're getting what, like banner ads in YouTube, right? I assume that's what you're talking about. And I'm assuming in that case, you must just be getting a lot of movie stuff now, right? And that would be the most logical thing. Probably a ton of movies. No, the Google News article, that was one of the things that suggested to you, really? Oh, stop. Not even sure how much longer I'll go, but may as well mute that. Really? So it gave you... Okay, I guess that makes sense. That's interesting. So I've heard that it does do that. I knew that that was a thing, but I didn't know for sure if it actually did it live or if it was picking stuff out just based on like what a channel covers. So yeah, I guess they're doing actual live ads. That's cool. It's cool that they're able to do that. I will grant that's kind of impressive. It also is very unfortunate that this is the thing. Though this feels like, does this feel like an ad? Because it linked you to an article. Obviously, like, I'm sure this article probably has like Google Ads in it, but is this technically an ad? I mean, it kind of is, but they are linking you to content instead of just like straight up, here's a product we want you to buy. But yeah, interesting. Wow, yeah, if I scroll even just a little further back in The Verge, we're into stuff has we're into, hey, here are products you can buy for cheap or cheaper. Mark Zuckerberg says Reels is about half as big as TikTok. Okay. Sure, Chief. Everyone hates it, but it's huge to you. Oh, wow. There's just not much here. Oh yeah, the Stadia refund's being issued in 2 weeks. To be fair, we already kind of talked about this. We just didn't have dates. Though I am happy about that. I'm looking forward to getting even more money back. That's cool. And since they can't refund the original credit card because the number has actually changed, I think that's the one where the number's changed. My card went missing one night. I'm not sure if it was swiped or maybe it got dropped, but I can't think of why. Like, the odds of dropping it are very low, so I'm pretty sure somebody swiped it. Anyway, yeah, that I'm pretty sure that's the card it was bought on, and now it's yeah, now they'll have to ask me where to send it, and I will have them directly deposit to my bank account. And yay for flexible spending. Oh, San Francisco approving the use of remote-controlled robots to kill suspects. Scary topic, but I actually do get it. I get the argument here. You don't want to put people in harm's way when someone is actually being extremely dangerous. So I do get the argument for putting something in, but I would much prefer that their strategy was non-lethal force, or at least low chance of lethal force. Give us robots that aren't killer robots, but you know, maybe build into them a bunch of stun guns, taser kind of situations, or I don't know, something that maybe a robot that climbs some stairs and triggers tear gas, things like that. Let's have a strategy for a robot that's not going to kill people, but just incapacitate them. This seems like a much better strategy. Let's not go all the way to murdering people with robots. Okay, so yeah, I'm skimming over this stuff and I have nothing to say about most of this. Okay, I made it through the whole front page, and I gotta say, not feeling much here. So let's see. With that, I guess probably gonna wrap it up. Because it just doesn't seem like there's much to babble about, and I don't have a lot that I can really go into. At least nothing terribly interesting. And I guess it is almost 6 o'clock, so that's pretty fair. The longest I would go is maybe another hour if I could really go for it. So with that, let's see. This weekend should be a normal weekend, I expect. There's supposedly some chance of snow. I'm hoping not. I'm hoping that's total BS. But if it should happen, I suppose that is something to consider, and hopefully it does not. But yeah, if it does snow, there's a chance that I may not be able to do a stream, but it's super low odds. Let's see. I've been meaning to do this for a while. Okay, so also, well, okay, just getting that ready. So yeah, should be gaming this weekend, I think, unless there's snow. Then, what else? Yeah, that should be about it. My brain is running on like 3 different things at once. Okay, so, with that, thanks everyone for coming by, hanging out, being part of the conversation. I hope you all have an excellent rest of your week. If you'd like to support the channel and don't already, there are links down below to Streamlabs, Patreon, and Cash App. Also, because I don't pimp this nearly enough, but oh, that's right, wrong channel. I got everything ready, except I did it on exactly the wrong place. But also, if you'd like to, there's a referral link to sign up with Public if you'd like to get into trading stocks and haven't already found another place to do that. But if you're interested in switching or trying Public, yeah, there's an affiliate link. Oh, that reminds me, that was one of the other things. I am going to be setting up an actual page of like I'm going to set up a web page that is of course some affiliate links to things that I recommend, but it's also going to be it is also going to feature products that you recommend. This is an idea that I've had for a little while. I'm going to set up basically the typical, like, you know exactly what it is. It's an Amazon affiliate page, but I want to fill it with things you recommend. So I'm going to put on, I'm basically going to build a Discord bot feature where you can recommend something and it'll pop it up on that page with your recommendation, what you've got to say about it, things like that. Which, don't get me wrong, I even feel dirty with this idea because it feels like I'm just getting you to generate content for me. So sorry, I don't know if that's the best thing. It feels a little dirty, but at the same time, it has been suggested many times that I need to set up like Amazon affiliate links for things, and this seems like the most clever way to do it, especially since I don't tend to have a ton of things to recommend myself directly, or the things that I would recommend are the same things everybody already has or knows that they want. So anyway, yeah, this is an idea I've had kicking around for a while, and I think it's probably the most clever way to do this. It's not set up yet. I have been working, or I was working on it. I've got like part of it figured out, but there's a whole other part that I kind of got hung up on. So yeah, not quite there yet, but it will be. But yeah, so that is also in the works. And the neat part about that is it would be another way to help support the channel that doesn't involve you necessarily giving money directly to me, but it would factor in for kind of helping keep things going. But with that, now I am going to formally say this is the end of the show. I hope you all have an excellent rest of your night and week. Yeah, that's it. So with that, I also forgot to get my in card set up, but now it is. So enjoy, take it easy, and good night, everybody.